Welcome everyone you were listening to and perhaps watching Calling the Audible. This week should be more audible as Eagle returns. I am in the studio with Iggy Magnets, who joined us as an analyst, thankfully.
Thank God.
A job you're really good at versus a job that you're
Shit.
still not good at.
Out of curiosity, do you call audibles in your huddle? Like when you get to the line and everything?
No, I used to. I don't anymore.
It shows.
Yeah. I go off the silence knob and doubles.
Hey, that works too.
Yeah.
That works too. The reason why Iggy is here is that Mokan has another wedding. It's
On a
wedding.
Wednesday.
It's the weirdest. He's got to be making it up, and I'm infuriated because I would have loved to take today off because it's my anniversary, and instead I had to work because we couldn't find a replacement for Mo because he has this fictional Wednesday wedding. Just say you want a day off, bro. Just say you want a day off.
Yeah. I mean,
According to his Instagram, his mom made almond cookies, but no,
Thank
here
God.
he is at a wedding. He does not look happy to be at the wedding. His mom looks great though.
Yeah, she's a beauty.
Mom
Unfortunately, Mokan did not get her looks.
Oh, wait, so he's actually at a wedding?
Yeah.
Apparently so.
Oh, I thought it was a joke.
No.
I've made that up.
No, he's at a wedding.
But he's actually at a wedding.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I have made a wedding because all we see is him and his mom. So I don't.
Why would you not smile for this picture though?
Mo has the strangest social media presence of all time. So I don't know.
Which, by the way, Mocha 19, P. De La Rocca, Iggy Menz, Dak Eagle,
If
and
you
of
wanna follow
course,
us.
Flag Plus.
Yeah.
Don't forget to tag us in any videos you have. You might see a lot of Dan Lazara videos on our feed. It's because he tags us in them.
That's all it is. That's all it is. So I think I've made a terrible mistake working today. I don't have an option, but here I am.
You negotiated your way into it.
Yeah. Well, so my wife's working a half day Friday, so we're gonna do. We go on a picnic usually for our anniversary because it's in the summertime.
Yeah.
It started where 1 year someone asked us for our anniversary, our dating anniversary, which we didn't know. So I blurted out June 18th, and then from that point on we started celebrating it.
Okay.
And then now we know our anniversary because we got
Right.
married. Although, due to another FPF
Doo-doo?
annoyance, sorry,
Due to.
Due to.
Okay.
I have another due to another like FPF conflict. I have 2 wedding dates.
Because of an FPF conflict?
Yeah.
Okay.
So not really conflict, FPF incompetence. So my wedding date is July 6th. It's today.
Mm-hmm.
It's the day that everyone was at my wedding. However, on my wedding certificate it says July 8th because my officiant, Simon Dagenet, filed it 2 days late. He needed to file it 30 days before, and he's like, they don't count weekends?
So you should have had Eagle, your
Eagle-
trusty manager.
Eagle was my liver.
Yeah.
He had a more important job.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Make
yes,
sure I don't
yes.
get drunk before
I
10:30
heard he's
p.m.
good at that. Yeah.
By the way, Simon Dagenet did not hold the microphone close enough to his face during the entire ceremony, which is surprising considering he was on a podcast for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You figure he would know how to speak into a microphone. Eagle, do you got any news for the league?
Iggy just brought it up off air. We're
You
5
don't have to
weeks
say that.
away
You can
from the
just say the
road
stuff.
show. No.
Okay.
We have to talk about us complaining about it as well, because I'm sure for a lot of players it's the exact same thing of, what do you mean the finals are 5 weeks away? It feels like the season has been both long and short simultaneously, because you go from having these extended breaks to having back-to-back games, so that's been a little bit
I
strange.
have 2 buys. 2 buys
In an 8-week
eight-week season.
Yeah.
And I'm missing the last 2 weeks. And somehow I have games in the last 2 weeks. It's infuriating.
So remember, you need 5 games played on your profile in order to be eligible for playoffs. There are vacation considerations potentially for a few things, so keep that in mind as well in case it's relevant. If you do have a player who's missing a doubleheader because of vacation, email the league and we'll try and help you out on that. We're a little bit flexible on those situations specifically. Reminder, no jerseys, no stats, no game played, more importantly. I mean, who cares about stats unless you like stats?
This guy.
But more importantly, you won't be eligible for playoffs, so make sure you keep bringing your jerseys. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the main stuff. Don't be dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Classic reminder. We're getting to that point of the
This
season
is the
where
time of year,
you're
yeah.
fighting for your playoff spot, so just
Yeah.
don't be dicks.
Yeah, just fight for your playoff spot and not physically... don't physically have altercations with the other team.
Glory Boys did a much better job of that. Are doing a much better job of that
Yeah,
this season.
absolutely.
They were fun to play against. We'll talk about that later.
But we've never had an issue with them as a team, like I'm saying, like
Right,
on field, right?
right.
Like
Well,
I guess it was on the field, but you know what I
yes,
mean. Like
it was on.
it's never been the football issue. Like I've loved watching them play.
Right,
I've
yeah,
been a
yeah,
proponent of
yeah,
them from
yeah,
day
yeah,
one. You know.
Yeah.
And maybe last piece of news, kind of, not really, I guess. You can only play on one team in a division. If someone asks you to play on another team, we don't care if it's an emergency. We don't care if it's only for a game. We don't care if you're going to have to forfeit because of it. You're going to have to find a guy.
We live in a city of 4 million people. Like there's at least 3.9 million people who haven't played FPF.
Yeah. Here's another scenario from last night. Team is 6. One player gets injured. It's halftime. Hey, can I grab that guy and have him play for our team? No. Unless he's already on your roster.
Yeah, I don't like that rule.
Technically.
Well, please, no, there's a reason for this rule. And more specifically, if the person is on your roster sheet, either on your roster or on your roster sheet before the game begins, and he shows up at halftime, he can totally play.
Yes.
What you can't do is be down 30-0 at halftime and go get AJ Gomes to come play for your team so you can win the second half.
Well, but again, if
That's what you can't
cap compliant, I don't care personally. You either cap compliant or you're not. It's always my opinion on these issues.
So you're okay. Here's another example.
If that would happen against me, I wouldn't care.
Well,
So the Los Angeles Rams have OBJ.
You're
go
right,
down
this is
to the
exactly
Super
like
Bowl,
the NFL.
So you go and get a guy to come play for the
no,
game.
no. No NFL reference. Here's what actually
But that's
happened.
effectively what it is, though.
So-
You sign an emergency contract, you get on the field second half.
So, but they were cap compliant
Yes,
and they won a Super Bowl.
but you can't do that because you have to submit your roster before the game. That person wasn't on the roster.
So
Same rule here.
It's not the same rule.
It is.
They
You're not on your roster
they
before the
add
game
him
begins.
to the team.
The game begins. He's not on your roster. You can't add him in the middle of the game.
So it doesn't make sense because it's not employment. It's a rec league. I don't know if you know that. It's not the NFL. It's FPF. I also don't know if you know that. Also, the team is either cap compliant or you're not. Now, I understand if you're soft and you're worried about lockdown losing yet another game, but I don't have that worry.
Yeah,
They
you
don't
just
play
lose the
for
game
lockdown.
straight up.
So
Yeah, exactly. But I don't care about it. So, you do
So
what you
like
do.
the entire situation real quick here. So it was 2 Inches gang losing a player, down huge to top season last night.
Yeah.
And they see Gab Wiseman there who had just played with Ravens and said,
But it's also same division, though, so that doesn't work.
"Oh, that is true actually."
So, again, if the
That-
player
that is
doesn't
true.
qualify for
Yes.
the division or your team,
That's true.
I'm with it.
Yes,
That's a forfeit.
yes.
But if not, I don't personally care.
Yeah.
Would you have an issue if they add a player halfway through the game?
No. As long as cap compliant and not within the same division.
Because if they could have
'Cause-
had him before the game and they could have had him at halftime, it makes no difference. to me.
Exactly. And what ended up happening is they ended up playing 5-on-5. Top
Yeah.
season agreed to play 5-on-5.
Well, I mean, they were up huge.
They were up
and like,
and like
there's not
more
a
space.
scenario where a 2 Inches gang can beat them.
Not
I was
with
going to
one
say,
player,
I always
yes.
love that scenario because it's like, oh, yeah, sportsmanship. We go on 5-5. Game suddenly tied. Do you add the 6th player back on?
Yup.
Yes.
Yup.
Yes.
It's not my fault.
It's
You're only five.
sportsmanship until it isn't.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll get into. Actually, let's start there. We'll start in Div C, since you
Yeah.
brought it up, Iggy. Given. So
Sean McGrath's injury. I started it off.
how would I know that?
I know. Yeah.
So Sean McGrath's been injured, but it hasn't limited him so far. Does Tops doesn't have what it takes to go up against undefeated giants such as like ECW and Vultures. By the way, I have both of them this week. So
In
yeah,
the same. Oh,
same day.
that's yeah. You're really looking
they
forward
have
to those.
Triple B, Ravens, and Blitz Buds coming up. That should be 3 wins? Question mark.
So yes, but none of them are easy. Like
Yeah.
Beer Belly Brigade are good athletes.
Yep.
Featured on Game of the Week from last week.
Yep.
You guys got featured on this week, right?
Yes,
cool.
it's being processed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
edited. Yeah.
So the Games of the Week are usually, for those new to the proceedings, they're usually about a week late because it takes time to edit and put them together. Chris Rivet doing a killer job.
Yep.
So Beer Belly Brigade, having just faced them, I will say this: like, it's not a walk in the park. Like they're not incompetent. They're good athletes. Alex Fafard, look, Div 4 to Div C is a jump up.
Yeah.
And to his credit, he's basically taken the same team And so while other teams have gotten better, he's there with the same roster.
Minus Olivier Claveau.
Minus Olivier Calabo.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a big
Which
minus.
is a big loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Curat's been great.
Yeah. In his, I wrote that in my article. In his as a replacement.
Because it's more of a system. Like his
Sure.
production's not that he's not a good player. Obviously,
Yeah.
he can carry out what he has to do. But a lot of the snap routes are filled within the system.
Sure, but it's still you can put Curat in the slot or at wide
Yeah,
receiver.
having
It's one
both is better.
It's one less weapon.
Yeah.
Is my point.
Of course. And Ravens, they've been a little up and down, but
It's always a tough out.
the tough out no matter what. And then Blitz Buds, you just face them when you sub for Stoics. The thing with Blitz Buds is that they have so many athletes and they have the best player in FPF or one of in AJ Gomes.
Yeah.
So that makes it difficult.
You hit the board and I can it's fine. I can hear out of one ear.
All right,
That's okay.
it'll come back, I think.
Yeah. So if you actually look at Top Season's record and how they've played throughout the season, they've been like pretty close in all the games. They were even, like I mentioned, questioning whether they can go up against EZW and Vultures. Lost just by 1 point to Vultures, but the Tough Lungs game was a tough out. The Air Force One was a 1 point win. Like the only easy quote unquote game was yesterday's against 2 Inches Gang, which again they were down to like 5-on-5 at one point.
Yeah. And 2 Inches Gang is a team that's been outclassed the entire season.
Yeah, they should have been in Division D.
Yeah,
probably. So the question then
Do we know why Eagle? Do we know why
their shirts are pretty cool though?
It is cool. I saw them on Take On Ravens. I was like, oh, they look cool. And then I watched the game. I was like, oh, poor guys.
Yeah.
Eagle, is it like quarterback cap issue or like why are they in Div C?
No, it's not. They're like 30, 40 points below the cap.
Yeah, they look fine. Maybe
We're
the
just a
late
late
registration. Maybe
registration?
they picked it because
Let us know.
They
Curious.
were a tier 3 team in the Fall Cup this past. I remember playing against them, and then I saw them signing up for Division C. I'm like, oh, you guys are good, but you're not Division C good. Your division
It's a knowledge thing.
Yeah,
They don't.
you're Division D good, and Division E they would have probably maybe won the championship, gone to the finals.
They have the athleticism to win Division E just on that alone.
Yeah.
Division D, they would have been comparative.
Well suited.
C, it's just not enough.
Yeah.
Like it's not even athletically. They don't have the knowledge required to win in C.
Yeah.
So if you're on 2 Inches Gang, let us know
Yeah,
why
I'm
you
curious.
decided to pick C. Also, let us know which one of your players was the inspiration for your name. I'm not going to take bets.
I think it's the dude top left because look how close his fingers are. He looks like he's really familiar with 2 inches.
Yeah.
The other guys are exaggerating 2 inches. Like they tell their girl it's 2 inches, but top left,
Yeah.
he looks like he knows exactly 2 inches.
I was going to say definitely not bottom right with the headband and mustache. You're way too confident to pull that look.
yeah. Although if you're
There.
2 inches and that confident,
Hey, I got
that's
it
all
back.
you need.
Got it back.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. It just came back magically. We're talking about 2 inches,
Yeah. But like to we talked about Blitz Buds
Yeah.
being a team that they're going to face. You just faced them. They won 3 in a row. You asked the question here. I have my own answer, so I'm curious
Yeah.
about your take on it.
Yeah.
Are they a team no one will want to face come playoff time?
My answer is yes, and I've talked about this in my articles. I said maybe at first they might start off a little slow, but watch out for this team week in and week out as Felix Goulet-Tenawi gets more familiar with how receivers run their routes, how the plays really develop, because they even brought in a new guy, Jules Fortin. He's new with he's good. He's new with me and Coed as well. Like it takes time to gel with your receivers.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen. They've rattled off 3 wins in a row. So come playoff time for me, watch out for this team.
So there's a couple things. One is defensively, the way they adapt is not like a normal Div C team.
Yeah.
They're being coached up by AJ, who reacts to things the way a Division A team would. They start to take away. He learns your playbook and starts to take away and attack your concepts. So you need to go into it with a game plan, saying, "This is phase A in the game, phase B, phase C." This is what I suggested, for example, to Chris Rive before you guys faced off against them the other day, and it still wasn't enough, right? Because like that's how good they are. The one thing with Felix Goulet, I will say, is that he's very much a rhythm quarterback, in that and we saw it in the finals in co-ed, is when things go well, his
Yes.
ball placement is perfect. He has such an incredible arm. He has the athletes that he can just lead and they'll run under it and make a play for him. But when he's not clicking, it falls apart.
Yeah.
And there's not an explanation for it because his footwork is perfect. He's got a great arm. He's tall. He can see above most rushers. I've noticed in games where I've watched him that when things don't go his way, it starts to deteriorate, and the longer that continues, the worse it gets.
It's funny, yeah.
But with a lead, he's dominant.
Dominant, but yes, it's exact. I'll just touch on I'll say it a little differently. It's just that with every pass that he does complete, he completes a second one, he looks even better and better and better. He's very much a rhythm quarterback in that sense. I'm not sure why that is. At least going in the spiraling downwards.
Yeah,
I
don't have the
Yeah,
explanation.
me neither.
Maybe just lack of FPF experience at this point because he's still fairly new to the proceedings.
Maybe.
But from a pure talent
it's there.
perspective, it's absolutely there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. I wish I had any of that skill set, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So I would say yes and no. A really good defensive team could give them a hard time. A team like Top Season, for example, I think could give them a tough time.
No, that would be an offensive showdown in my opinion.
I think so as well, but Top Season has really good defensive players.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Vultures.
No.
Well, the thing is, their defense looks worse than it is because of the pace of play.
I get. Yeah, fair.
Not that I think they're dominant. Like, I don't think it's a good matchup for them either.
Right,
but
right,
I don't,
right.
Like, Ben McMahon can score with them,
Yes.
and Vultures can create a takeaway at a key moment.
Okay. Yeah.
They're high risk, high reward sort of defense.
Fair.
right?
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. But that's then. I think that's like a later. Maybe my question was like, who, like you don't want to face them in the first
Based on
round
how,
of the playoffs.
on like how Tough Sports is built, for example, that the defense is actually quite good this season.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't love the matchup. Like, I'd rather play against teams that aren't winning games.
Yeah.
But
I meant more like, is it a first round matchup that like a 1 seed, let's say they're the 8th seed, like a 1 seed would want to avoid?
Yeah. You want to avoid. It's again not like impossible. Let's say for ECW or Vultures or any of the top teams, but it's just an uncomfortable game.
Yeah.
They make the game uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is the way I can best describe it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, who do you think is the biggest surprise in the division so far? Let's start with surprise. Let's start positive. I'm a positive guy, man.
Well, I was gonna go with like just either side, either surprising or disappointing. But surprising in a good sense, I'll say, and not because he doesn't have the talent, because he absolutely does. Is Ryan McGrath being the leading receiver in yards in the division?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know the guy's really good, but to be number one. I mean, he's played, I think, the most. He's played 7 games. James Drysdale and Manuel Roy's maybe average per game is better. But for him to be up there in the number 1 and like top 3 in touchdowns, that would be my biggest surprise from like an individual standpoint. You?
For me, it's surprise. Okay, pleasantly. I was gonna go with the disappointing. But
go for it. Whatever.
I'll start disappointing because I prepared
Yeah.
for the wrong thing,
Nah,
even though I asked the question.
Yes, yeah.
Genius.
That's fine.
We'll do it reverse though. I'll go negative
Yes,
positive.
exactly.
You go positive negative.
Yes,
There we
yes. Iggy Magnet style.
go. The most disappointing team to me is Les Montagnards.
I was gonna say.
Well,
that
now you
as
gotta choose another
Yeah,
one.
I
So I stole it from you.
I have another one. Yeah. Go for it.
Just that. First of all, I think Brigesbois is a lot better at the quarterback position than is anticipated because he's been a quarterback before, not in FPF, but he's making his first throws in FPF. But he's an experienced flag player with quarterback experience and quarterback skills. They have Marc-Antoine Vien, who's one of the best snappers in FPF and borderline Hall of Famer. Fred Vien is just a stud all around. The team is well built. I think the biggest issue with their defense is they don't have like a dominant rusher. Khalil Arjebi is
Huge, very tall.
very tall. Just he doesn't really have the technique down pat. Looks a little awkward.
Yes.
The sacks he's getting are covered sacks, basically. And so that might be hurting them. Julien Fizessier is another guy like Fred Vien, like Brisebois, who can throw but is really talented at playing basically any position.
Yeah. So I think he was the starting quarterback to start the season.
But he was because Brisebois wasn't available, I don't think, for the first couple of games.
Okay. So Brisebois is now the starting quarterback and was supposed to be throughout. Okay.
As far as because he's only played 3 games.
Yeah. The last 3. But now
the only games he's played, he has only quarterback stats.
Yes, and when both Julien Fizessier and Brisebois were in the lineup, Brisebois was throwing.
Yeah.
So that's my
I know that
sign.
this group of guys has been wanting to have Brisebois throw for a while. Like
Yeah.
going back to like a few seasons, he's been sort of gun shy to do it. He bizarrely looks gun shy in the pockets sometimes.
Really?
And I
Okay.
just think it's because FPF's a different game, like we talk about all the time. But his skill set is impressive.
Yeah.
His skill, and when he does let the ball go, it's really impressive. So to me, they're my disappointment. Iggy, what's your disappointment?
Yeah, because you took my Montagnard.
Sorry.
I'd have to go. They were also high up in the standings in Division 4B last year. It's Beer Belly Brigade. We just talked about them a little bit. It's not so much that they have a losing record. I could see them being, 3-4. They're 1-4, so their next 2 games they can win. But to be 1-4 instead of 2-3 or maybe even 3-2, that's my disappointment from them. Like being a 9-1 team in 4B and then to kind of hit reality and strike them in the face like the way it is so far. I think Favard could do a little better. Like the stats, he was killing it last year. Average this year.
Yeah. There were a couple things we noticed in our game that we were able to take away at some points in the game.
Yeah.
And he's gonna learn. If he just stayed in the pocket more and read the field, he limits himself by constantly rolling out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it allows the defense to just attack, right?
And
like attack
take
that
away-
side and
and take
force him
away
to
half.
throw across the field.
Yes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Because I'm a cynical man, I'm going to throw my own into this. The Commission, they win their first game against the Infantry and then drop 4 straight. Most of them were somewhat close games.
Even yesterday's against EZW, it was close.
25-20, exactly.
then
But
they haven't had a consistent roster all season, like we've talked
sounds
about.
like Commission to me.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and it doesn't even look fun to be on that team right now.
Actually, yesterday was different with
Okay, 'cause
Zachary,
I
with
saw
Zach
earlier-
Alberts. With that, when Zach Alberts Gill is there on the sideline, kind of like cheering him on, and he plays on the team, but he's a jovial kind of guy.
He is.
So he brings energy to the team. So does Brent Botkin. More energy than like what maybe Gino brings. Actually, yesterday's game was actually real fun to watch. It was actually very close. They were kind of chirping EZW from the sidelines, like, "How is this team 4-0? They're not that good." And I'm like, they just make big plays at the right time, and they play a high rhythm offense.
The thing with EZW, any player can explode at any point.
Exactly. It's just anyone can make an amazing play. Like
It's like in one hand they have the pin, and the other hand they have the grenade, and they can let it loose at any point.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
It's I don't know.
Yeah. So the game yesterday, actually, I like the way the game was being managed by the Commission. They played the clock pretty well to let themselves have the last possession of the game. But Gino threw like 3 balls on that last drive, just completely out of bounds, like 10 yards over his receivers' heads. Didn't give his team a chance to move the ball effectively downfield.
Yeah, it's there are times where Gino DeFazio's inconsistent, and that's the thing that's kept him from being a top. Like he's a really good quarterback.
He is, yeah.
but
yeah,
what
I
keeps him
saw
from
it.
being that top tier?
Yes.
Because when I started in FPF, he was a Div A quarterback.
Yeah.
And look, we're all getting older, right? So his skills, physical skills, have deteriorated, but there is a consistency issue sometimes where, I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's related to physical skill set. Maybe it's just not being on the same page because of the inconsistencies on the roster. But when he's on, he's one of the most impressive quarterbacks in the division, and when he's not, it's not pretty to watch.
Yeah.
For me,
do you have a surprise, a pleasant surprise?
So the most pleasant surprise is Ben McMahon. Not because I didn't think he'd be at the top of the division, but the way he's doing his nonsense.
It's ridiculous. We're talking about it almost every week. I'm talking about it in my
Yeah.
article.
But because
almost every
because
week,
we
like,
talk about it every week, I'm
crazy.
gonna go to another quarterback who I'm really
Okay.
impressed with his play so far, and that's Chris Rive.
Yeah.
He's been a little under the radar for a guy who's got almost 115 QBR. He's got a 22-3 touchdown interception ratio. Like that's winning football. That's
Yep.
He's if the Stokes don't win a game, it's very rarely because he's made a mistake. It could be that like the team just like last night they didn't score in the last 5 plays, but it's not he's making the mistake. You
Yeah.
want the ball with 5 plays with a chance to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
and when your quarterback's performing that way, you will win most of those games. So it's been so impressive to see them see the Stoics like go up to and beat the infantry, for example.
Yeah.
They beat Air Force One, which was I found for the Stoics specifically to be a tough matchup.
Yeah.
And then go toe to toe with Blitzbuds, who are probably the hottest team in the division. Like if you're doing a power ranking, they're moving up your rankings because of how well they're playing currently.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Are you like somewhat subtly suggesting I do a power ranking in my article?
I think you should do a mid-season breakdown.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I just added 20 hours of work to
Yeah,
your
thanks.
to your weekly plate.
Someone is going to be very happy with that.
Who's that?
Someone I may be going on a date with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yes.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
In the women's division, there was some trash talk in the Strangers Villa game. I found that to be interesting.
Yeah, intriguing. Yeah.
Strangers quarterback, if you can give me the name.
Jade.
Oh yeah, Jade McHugh-Thibault. She was kind of chirping back at Villa.
Yeah.
This past week.
Villa's head coach to be specific once
So
again.
it wasn't clear to me. It was with Gino DeFazio.
Yes. Yes. So from what I understood the story from Mo Khan, scorekeeper extraordinaire on Monday night in Laval, was that the Strangers were playing defense. I'm assuming a ball went in the direction of the Strangers quarterback playing defense, though, and she kind of made, according to Gino, kind of stiff-armed one of the girls as the ball was coming her way. So Gino...
Armbarred.
Yes,
I think is the term,
armbarred is the correct specific words Mo used. And Gino said, well, you only got there because you armbarred my receiver. So
Why are you trash talking a player as your coach?
and she looks like 15, maybe she's 19, 20 years old, like a younger player. And then the Villa quarterback went again targeting the same Jade again on defense, and this time no arm bar, just deflected the ball out of the way, and then that's when she trash talked Gino, said I didn't need the arm bar. There was no arm bar on that play, was there?
I like the subtle admission that there was in the first one. Though. Like,
Maybe
I got away with it, and I don't even need it. Jade McHugh-Thibault looked the part. She threw for 266 yards compared to the combination of Gabby Obetsano and Patricia Gervais, who combined for 90 yards in the game.
It's rough.
It's rough. But on the Jade McHugh-Thibault side, excellent. Just using all of her receivers. She did target against Giguère 10 times and Kaylee Delia 12 times, but it's not like the other receivers weren't involved.
No, exactly.
She threw 41 times.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot of.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you get everyone involved.
Yeah. So I didn't see this game, but I did see them play 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I like she not only looks the part on the stat sheet, Jade looks the part on the field. She looks confident. She's a bit of a smaller quarterback, but doesn't let that impose any tall rushers against her.
Yeah.
She gets the ball into many receivers' hands, gets everyone involved into the game. And they have a different set of profile of receivers. So, like you mentioned, Megan Giguère, very big, tall receiver, can box out her defenders, can high point a ball very well. Sarah Maud Mathieu, a bit of a shorter, very speedster, and has a great ability to cut it upfield and change her angles on defenders, make the girls miss the 2 flags, not 3. She's one of their speedier receivers. Got 50 yards, 6 for 8 on receptions, targets, 1 TD. Cassie Levy, very reliable hands. More known for her defensive play. 4 picks in her last 2 games, but very reliable hands from her. So they have a different profile set of receivers, so it complements Jade very well.
She has lots of different types of weapons for sure. And on defense, they have a lot of length. They have a lot of speed. Their tackling is really good. They all move to the ball. It looked as though there was just no room for Villa to operate. I know Villa were missing players this week as well, so not a full cast of characters. And they haven't really had their starting quarterback from the beginning of the season all season long, which I think they knew heading into the season. But they seem to cause a lot of issues on the defensive side of the ball as well. Mo says that they might be the team to create issues for Red Nation, but I actually think straight up they're better across the board than Red Nation.
And that's the game I saw 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they were up on Red Nation 12-0. They were up 2 scores on them, and if it's not for 2 pick sixes from the Red Nation defense, they're losing that game.
And Red Nation has relied on that, where
exactly
they've supplemented Alison Sobel's offense. I remember even in the winter season, they won a game, which if not for a pick six, they don't win that game.
Exactly.
And I wonder how sustainable that is, whereas when I look at what Strangers do on offense, spreading the ball around, defensively using their physical skills and good, smart team defense. Not as explosive a defense as Red Nation, but the way that they play, I think, is just more playoff built than the Red Nation is.
And it's just going to get better as the season goes along. These are literally strangers. They're like free agents coming together, and they're looking better and better every week. So watch out for them exactly going up against Red Nation or Les Petits Miettes towards the finals.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. The Villa QB situation.
Yeah, what's up?
So, again, given the depth of knowledge that Gino DeFazio has and playing that position, given how well he understands the game, and given that he's coached before and he's been a successful coach, and how he's coached up younger players in FPF, why can't he get Gabby to perform better, and what can be done for them moving forward?
So, I mean, you can only teach so much. If it's a physical skill set limitation, there's not much you can do there. Throwing 1 TD to 7 interceptions kind of tells me that. But what you can do is simplify the offense. Nothing wrong, and he knows this. Nothing wrong with going 3-yard hooks. Maybe in the women's division, it's different because you can't get a first down for every 10 yards. Yeah. So maybe the adaptation towards the women's division and its particularities is also hindering Gino in some ways.
But then you need to develop an intermediate attack, I imagine,
which then comes back to the physical limitation, the skill set limitation. If the ball can't get there,
but are the schemes creating open receivers in
right?
areas?
Yeah, fair enough. So
12-yard hooks, Iggy. 12-yard hooks.
Yeah. Yes.
For example,
I know. So you mentioned though that the knowing that a quarterback wouldn't be there every game. Were you referring to Lauriane Lapointe?
Yeah,
because she was there week 1.
I momentarily couldn't remember her name.
Yes.
So yeah,
was there week 1 and put up 4 scores on Red Nation.
She, I believe, is a flag quarterback. She's played the game before.
Yeah.
Where I think Pedicano is just learning on the fly.
Right.
Which is fine.
And
even lack of success, that's normal. FPF is hard.
It is.
We always say it. It's not a pickup league. It's a hard league.
Yes.
So she's learning, and that's fine. But I think they need to call plays that are. I remember, for example, when I started throwing, a lot of my friends in Division A were telling me, run triple slants. You had the same experience. Yeah. And when you don't know how to read it, it's an impossible play to read.
I remember for me it was Andel Gordon Thomas. He's like, run triple slants. I'm like, how does this? No. I'm like, no. And now it's very effective.
If you look at it as hooks slightly askew.
Yes. But yes, continue.
But it could be something as simple as that, where maybe she's being given plays that work in FPF, but she doesn't understand what she's looking for. And sometimes I think when your team is struggling, you might be giving too many plays, too many suggestions. I've been guilty of this when I've been hurt and I've had quarterbacks replace me. I'm like, I see things on on the defense is doing. Like, hey, try this. But if the quarterback doesn't know what they're looking for,
Yeah.
it becomes an issue. So I hope they're going to be able to adjust. Can anyone catch Geraldine Caballo Abante for receiver of the year? She's short on TDs to make it unanimous, but otherwise is across the board pretty dominant.
Yeah, she has almost 300 receiving yards in just 4 games off of 23 catches, 37 targets.
Very explosive player.
Yeah, the most targeted and most and receiver with the most receptions in the women's division this year so far. Look, if she keeps that pace, let's just double those yardage, 600 yards.
Yeah,
I think that alone, even with just the 1 TD, if no one can put up that same type of
unless
yardage,
someone puts like 12, 13 touchdowns or
yeah, it would. Which
I wish we had like an algorithm that told us what a TD is worth in terms of yardage.
What do you think it's worth?
23.6 yards.
Eagle?
I know the actual number. I'm not telling you.
Is it 23.6 yards?
It is not.
Okay.
Was that close?
Wait,
I won't tell you if you were close.
I usually go.
Why won't
like
you tell us? What's the point
30
of hiding
like
information?
30 yards.
Because
Wait.
quite literally no one on the staff knows how
Right.
the algorithm works, and I want to keep it that way.
So who's?
But why?
If I say 30,
job security.
What's the benefit?
Job security.
Dude, we already recorded 2 shows with bad or no audio, so you're fine.
30. Who's
Yeah, but
closer?
it's more. This is more insurance, right?
Also,
'Cause, like one of these days,
No,
Iggy
no,
will
but the
get it
insurance,
right.
the insurance is this: is that if you're not working for FPF, neither am I. So it's replacing 2 people is difficult.
Well, when we've seen what that looks like.
Yeah.
When half of you, when one half is not
It
there,
doesn't
it's
work
not
well.
good.
Doesn't work well.
I say 30. Who's closer, Peas or I?
You think I know off the top of my head? I have no idea.
Okay.
So you don't know.
I mean, I know. It's not
Mm,
knowledge I
sounds-
carry.
sounds-
around
Stop
with
touching.
Me.
Sorry.
God damn it! Now
Sounds like you don't know though. So I'm gonna stick with that. Eagle doesn't know. It's fine. Look,
You know who else doesn't know? Both
Who?
of you.
that's true.
Yes.
That's true. But see, we're not cowards who are scared of players showing up at halftime. So we're free to admit it.
Right. So, but if there is one receiver that could catch up to Gigi,
Yeah.
I think it's the aforementioned Sarah Modnatsier. Like I said, she not only uses her speed well, but they use her effectively in the offense. So they have her looping around the quarterback and fake handing off to her, and then throwing it back to her.
I love all the movement in the women's game. By the way.
Exactly, and like everything you love about the women's, like the strangers utilize with Sarah. So if there's one receiver that could catch up and reach Gigi, it's Sarah Modnatsier.
Yeah. For
Before
sure.
we move on, very important update in the life of Mokan's wedding. Round 1 has been served. It's a chickpea pakora.
Yeah. Again, it looks like he's just eating at home, bro. It's my anniversary. I don't know why you did this to me.
Wait, favorite Indian entree?
Samosas. I mean, is
Yeah.
that considered an entree though? Is that more like snack food?
I don't eat a ton of Indian food because it tends to cut through me, but samosas will do it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. Samosas are really good, but recently I had the onion bhaji.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I had a good one, and it was really freaking good.
I do like onions.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So I gave Mo shit for something for years. So
Saying butter chicken and rice is
No.
a traditional Indian dish.
not related to that at all.
Okay.
So because you brought coffees this week, which thank you by the
Yeah,
way, appreciate it.
Yeah.
But normally I on a weekly basis will get coffee for myself, for Eagle, and Mo doesn't drink coffee or
Right.
his entire
All right.
his entire diet consists of a sleeve of crackers, as far as I'm concerned.
Uh-huh.
So what I do instead is I bring his mom a donut every week.
Right.
Um,
Oh yes, that's what you brought last
Yeah.
week, or
Yeah.
or 2 weeks ago.
he doesn't eat it. I used to bring
Yeah.
him chocolate milk. He no longer drinks chocolate milk.
Yeah.
So basically bring her a recette de miel because it's her favorite donut.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you want to get extra stats added to your score sheet, bring Mokan a Rusetto
you
Miel.
want to know how
He
many
won't
pa-
actually
you,
add stats to it, but
you want to know why I got so many passing yards? That's why. But so for years,
Yeah.
I was getting Eagles coffee.
Yeah.
Which was triple.
Mm-hmm.
And I always got weird looks at Starbucks or Tim Hortons or whatever.
Yeah.
And whatever. I double those looks because he's my friend. It's what he wants.
Yeah.
And then once in a while, Mo will do the coffee
Yeah.
run, and he would show up with a double. One of these guys,
Like-
Double D right here.
Who's that for?
And I was like, no, dude, you're a bad friend. Like, Eagle likes his coffee this way. I know it's a weird order, but come on, like, don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, listen to your friends. Give them what you want. Like, I would like literally scold him about this.
I feel like an ironic twist is coming.
And then we go to Simone's wedding, and we're in the
Wait.
car
Like,
this past week,
uh-huh.
or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. And so we're in the car, and Simone was in the driver's seat, so he puts in the order, and Eagle asked for his coffee double. I was like, so I told Eagle, like, you don't need to do that. You can order the coffee the way you like it. He's like, I do like a double. I was like, then why do I keep getting a triple? He's like, I don't know that. You keep doing it. I don't know. So I was the bad friend who wasn't listening to Eagle, as it turns out.
You also were not
For a
listening.
decade, by the way.
Yeah.
Every time.
You were also not reading all the messages because when I started getting coffee, I'm like, well, what do you guys get? And you always say black, and you would always write double.
Well, because when I would go, I wouldn't bother.
The first
sending it
time
out.
I wrote sweet and creamy,
Oh,
and
right.
he assumed it was triple.
Right.
But every other time I've said it the proper way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Mokan's a bad friend. Is the point of the story because he's at a fake wedding on a day where I needed him to be here. In Division D, there was a couple of heavyweight divisional games that Mo talked about when he sent us his thoughts on division. Two teams I'm very familiar with. I mean, this is a division where I can go off the cuff a lot because I'm writing the article.
Right.
A lot of teams moved up from lower divisions, which I usually cover. Primetime versus Killer Rays. Most says it was a wet affair.
It was yesterday, so yes.
Yeah.
It was.
That's a rematch of the five. Was it 6 finals?
No, we did that last
we did
week.
that last week. No, I corrected.
Wrong. They played in different finals. But
Well, 6 and 6D.
yeah, Primetime lost their final. Killer Rays won their final. Daniel Spina seems to have made the full-time move to quarterback as Adam Wichi present at the game but not throwing. I think Primetime is making a little too many moves to quarterback position.
Yeah,
You need to give somebody reps.
and he.
If it's
didn't-
Spina, it's got to be that. It's got to be him.
Yeah.
You can't go. It's not the third quarterback throwing for the season. Tyler Bianchi, on the other hand, this wasn't his best game, but largely he's looked the part, moving up essentially a division and a half, basically.
Yeah.
From 6, let's say, to D.
Although they've played 3 seasons in like.
But they
tier
played fall,
3.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, tier 3, you'll see some of the 5 action
But
as well.
You'd say I've now entering, I think, their 4th season. That Division D is not a crazy jump. I wouldn't say 1.5. I'd say 1, a division's jump.
Yeah, so essentially Mo was saying that both quarterbacks struggled
Yeah.
with grip. I know I hate throwing in the rain.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't easy.
If you don't have great mechanics, it really falls apart quickly. You
Yeah.
know, so guys who aren't natural throwers, although Tyler Bianchi to me looks like a guy who is a natural thrower, so
Mm-mm. I disagreed.
okay, he's more natural than I am.
Yes. So I guess that's what prompts you to say it.
Yeah,
but
I'm the Mendoza
just-
line.
yes, just not.
Not a like a tackle quarterback.
No.
You're saying. Yeah,
No.
that's fair. But they both struggled in this game.
Yeah, I would peek over my shoulder, and while Bianchi looked better, Spina did not. Like he did really
But
struggle.
Spina seems to have issues reading the field as well.
Yes,
like he's
that's
just a
what I mean.
reacting quarterback. It's one read and react, and then if
Yeah.
it's not there, sort of try and buy time and make something happen. That's not an effective way to win an FPF, unfortunately.
Yeah, and specifically, Mo mentions he couldn't get the ball to Alessio Muro. Specifically.
But there's a lot of guys on
There
this
are.
team. Like Manny Bezogias is a really good receiver as well. Leo Diakumakos, he's not been as
always
effective.
fuck up that name.
It's tough.
You always bleep up that name as is Mo would
Leo
say.
Diakumakos.
Yes. I like those additions from the Melon / FKU franchise over to primetime. That those were solid additions, but couldn't get them the ball.
And even like Ethan Adrian's speed, like get him the ball in the drag, get him on a quick hook, and let him do damage. So they have talent where it doesn't just have to be Alessio Muro. I know Alessio Muro is very good. He's very good 2 ways, as is Carter Condon. But no, like the only player with more than 2 catches in this game was Manny Bezogias. And again, I just think that a lot of times Daniel Spina kind of knows where he wants to go with the ball in the huddle.
Before, yeah.
Which is not atypical of new
Mhm.
quarterbacks. So Mo says he worries about prime time because their player Ashton Miller won't be available when he goes to Queens for training
Yeah.
camp. He's up for top season's very good, but like that's part of like you build a team knowing that.
Yeah.
That's
No,
common in
exactly.
FPF.
So like,
There's a lot of teams are going to be losing players as the season goes on.
yeah, exactly. So they shouldn't have built around him, and I don't think they did. That's why they.
It's like it's nice if he's there.
Yeah. And that's that second part was me who wrote that he subbed for top season yesterday, and yeah, he's really good. Like if he was on the team full time, which he said he can't be,
But
yeah,
given the difficulties at quarterback, doesn't make a difference.
true. But defensively, like he's a great
And
two-way
Primetime's already a
player.
really good defense, right? So
Yes,
it helps them.
Yeah.
It helps them improve their strength, which is the defense.
Right, but I think, like I said, Manny and adding Manny and Leo to the team were great additions, free agent acquisitions.
Oh, for sure. So for Killer Rays, the last wins have been against Dirty Dogs and Primetime. These are character wins. They've simplified it when they've had to in the rain, for example. Tyler Bianchi not able to stretch the field the way he normally does. And then they may not be making all the big plays they're used to, but they're making good plays in crucial moments.
Yeah, they're at the right time, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, they are like Mo says it, and I think it too. That Killer Rays. I mean, look, they're leading they're atop their conference. I think that's where they end up by season's end. They're the best in their conference right now, and they're beating the right teams to prove that. So the opposite of False Kings.
That's true.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be like a leading False Kings candidate in springtime.
Well, also because like no one's played the same amount of games, and
That's
so
It's
Yeah.
harder.
it's harder to get a feel
analyze,
for
yeah.
where teams are actually at right now.
Yeah.
Which is weird because again the finals are in 5 weeks.
Yeah. It's just
nonsense.
that like I couldn't wrap my head around that when Mo said
I've
it
been
yesterday.
so much pain all the time this season. There's no time for recovery.
Yeah.
It's awful. Either the games are too close or too far.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
Yeah.
What's been more surprising to you? The fact that the Rays' explosive offense largely has been effective in Division D, or the fact that their defense has given up 25 points or less in 5 games, which is not necessarily what they've been known for in the
Yeah.
past.
No, the defensive part. That's usually the offense flags and or flag football in general, but FPF's flag rules really are in favor for the offense. So I'm not surprised that they're still putting up the points in Division D. I'm more surprised about the defense. Like not now facing better competition, and to have let 25 points or less in their 5 games. That's more impressive to me.
For sure. The game of the season, Div D so far. Kiss My Vulture against... you can look as cocky as you like because Glory Boys no longer undefeated. Kiss My Vulture remain undefeated. We'll talk about your co-ed situation later
Sure.
because Mo Khan and I had a sidebar that you're not privy to.
Oh, nice.
But, dude, you've been great this season. When you've thrown in Div D, when you've thrown in Div
E
and
co-ed.
and co-ed as well. And as far as I know, you weren't supposed to be throwing.
No, I was
for
not.
Kiss My Vulture.
I was not. It was a injury related thing that forced me to play quarterback. Injured fingers, cramped up, and from a ball.
Okay, there, Mokan.
No.
Hey, that forced Mo to retire from quarterback. Not that he only completed 25% of his passes.
So yeah, a jammed finger from a football, and then an ankle injury kind of limited my mobility. So I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, but I have to throw. I didn't
But
want
also,
to.
hats off to Dave DeAndre for being
Yes.
willing to cede the throne, right?
Yes, and it's not 100% official yet, but he's like, I think you should stay quarterback because it's going well.
It is. I'll say something nice and then I'll insult you later. But
Okay.
so like we've talked a lot in the off season, heading into the season
Yeah.
about developing your playbook and
Yeah.
the concepts that we talked about it, are not just my concepts. The concepts used a lot by Stephen Harpersod, for example. Concepts used by guys like Dan Lazare, guys like Kevin Wyeth. Like these are some stuff is very flag oriented. That's more lower division stuff. That's not necessarily from those guys, but like Steve Harpersod is one of those guys who's bringing that into higher divisions as well, because the game is the game, right?
Yes,
And the zone defense is the zone defense, and a lot of what we call our zone killers. And I said to Mo this week, I said, well, Iggy's the best kind of student. He's the kind of student that doesn't need a teacher. Like, because and you keep saying like it's a credit to me. And it's not, man. It's you. It's you making the reads. It's you making the plays out there, calling the right plays when it counts, trusting the read, and that's the game. That's all this game is. It's a 40-yard field. It's not a huge field. You don't need all the physical skill sets.
Yeah.
You throw a nice ball. You have a good arm, and now you're calling. Not only are you calling the plays, but you're reading them well as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of nice plays, did we see this one already?
There we go, James. For
that
the
was-
audio-only audience, this is a catch by James Drysdale back of the end zone, where Iggy, you put it up. right at-
He went up. He
high point.
climbed the ladder there on that one. that was just nasty.
but again, you threw it to where it's him or nobody,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
hopefully that wasn't like a fourth down throw, but
third down.
there we go. Third down's fine.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
so many downs after that.
Yeah, it was third down, 3 plays.
That's a great opportunity to take a shot at the end zone. And,
Yeah.
and that's part of the things we talk about too is game management and understanding
yeah.
different situations in the game. And you do that remarkably well. And this is the kind of game where you're like, we're going to play fast pace. You put up 260 yards. You put up 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
James Drysdale goes off for 4 touchdowns. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong.
No, the wrong game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Against Big Dracos, he put up
yes,
4
yes,
touchdowns.
Yes. I believe he had 2 in this game. But enough about me. More about the glory.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up because again, I'm gonna make fun of you later for you
Right,
quarterbacking. But
Right. So take the compliments.
take compliments while it's there.
While they're here.
But yeah, so in this game, Drysdale getting the 2 touchdowns, of course. But what's interesting is if you compare this to the Big Dracos game, which is why I had that score
Right,
sheet open.
okay.
Is you have a game where it's fast paced. The gas pedal's all the way down.
Yeah.
We got to score. We got to put up yards. We got to move the ball. And against Glory Boys, it was the opposite. And
So the
why?
Glory Boys game was first,
Yeah,
and then the Big Dracos. But go ahead.
but why was it? Why, since you were there and you can give us context, why was it preferable for Kiss My Vulture to slow the game down against Glory Boys versus running tempo against Big Dracos?
So that maybe that's how you read the scoreboard from it, but that's actually not really what happened. So
Okay.
you
So give us the
think,
context.
Yeah. So you'd think a 24-21 was a slow down the pace. But no, I'll give credit to Glory Boys and their defense. Stellar, strong defense, shooting a lot of gaps, where they shut me out in the first half.
Yeah.
So kudos to them. It was just our experience and the adjustments that we made in the second half. Things from that my players saw on the sideline. I said, you got to attack right here. They're playing this type of defense very often, so run these type of plays. I'm like, a 2-score lead. So a 13, I believe 12 or 13-0 lead. So I actually, down 2 possessions with just a half to go, 22 minutes. I know how fast the game can go. Luckily, on our first possession, we scored in just 2 or 3 plays, so that helped. And again, the experience of at one point we scored and we were down 3, so we just said we're not even taking the extra point. We're don't.
But again, game
Whether-
management, which is another thing I complimented you on, was
Yeah.
that's an underrated part of the game.
And Glory Boys were like, whoa, you can do that? You can decline the convert? I'm like,
I
yeah,
had a ref refuse it from me this season.
No, God. It
good fun
happened,
season.
and just quickly, it happened yesterday in Ravens trying to come back down 3 scores against ESU Timberwolves. They scored, and they went for the extra point. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. You wasted 45 seconds
What's the point?
because you need the 30 to 40 seconds are more important because you're down 3 scores. If worry about the extra point at the end, you need the scores first to get that, like, to even have a chance at the extra point. So we actually tried to hurry up the offense and score quickly. Luckily, my defense came up big. Phil Roberts with a big interception, a big fourth.
And James Drysdale not a huge game on offense, but 5 sacks on defense.
Yes.
And like against an inexperienced quarterback like Michael Hiotis, who uses his run game a lot,
Yeah.
I can imagine that being very frustrating for him.
But they again, kudos to them. They would convert on that 3rd and 17 play, so it was frustrating in the first half because we would get a sack, and then 2nd and 17 became 3rd and 8, and then they would convert on 3rd and 8. So they played well, better in the first half. But a pick by, like I said, Phil Roberts and a stop on defense was really what allowed me to get and us to get back into the game. And then, as you saw with James Drysdale just making an incredible catch at the end, that sealed the deal.
Eagle, do you want to remind Division D about the playoff structure, or do you want to do that next week? Like, do you have a graphic for
I
it?
mean, we can do it next week. There's not enough games played to care at this point, honestly.
Yeah,
Just
we'll-
keep playing your games.
we'll get Duke
yeah.
to drop a graphic too, and
Yeah.
I'll add it to my article next week as well.
Yeah, it's just a reminder. At least let's just throw it out there. Is that it's the top 6.
Iggy didn't get it. We're trying to move on from the topic.
It's confusing.
It
It's
is.
fine.
No, do it. Go ahead. I'm
It's
just teasing you, dude.
it's the top
I was
6.
too nice to you. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't keep it up.
So Eagle, if you bring up the standings,
20 teams make it 6 plus 2.
Yes, it's just I'm sure because this happened in the winter and kind of the opposite with what was the team that made the playoffs but didn't show up to their playoff game.
Oh,
I mean, there was
the Blue Brown
multiple
Line?
of that. Let's not go there. That was
Yeah.
very complicated.
This is more complicated.
No,
because
it's
there's,
not.
There's 2 teams.
No, it's not.
There's 2 teams that think they're in the playoffs and they're not in the playoffs.
No, only one of them isn't.
2.
Only one.
2.
6 plus 2, Iggy. And
Yes.
7, 7, 7.
Ye-
6 plus 2.
Yes.
Only one
You-
team that's going to show as
Tell
in
me,
is out.
tell me who's in the playoffs right now. Forget the top 6. The top 6 are the top 6.
Right
Yeah,
now,
who should be in the playoffs and isn't?
Mighty 6
Yep.
is in.
Yep.
And
And
at this point,
Yes.
it's Team Timbo, but
Yes,
that's
there
only
you
because
go.
of games played.
there you go. So I said 2 teams think they're in the playoffs and they're not.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
Late-
it's still way too early to
late
actually
and
care about
big.
this.
I'm just saying, you're not in the playoffs and they're in the graphic. And
It's a very different situation than last year, though.
it was said
By
it's
last
the
year, you mean
opposite.
this
It's
year.
the opposite.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's all.
So, with regards to co-ed,
Yeah.
I decided this week we're gonna have Alexi do our work for us.
Yeah.
We're
So
gonna,
did I.
We're gonna react to his power ranking.
Yes. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, genius idea. Outsourcing work, because most of sports radio is just outsourcing work. When you
And
take
just-
callers,
Yeah.
that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is you're outsourcing content to
Yeah.
the customer.
Yeah.
Strange. We do that too, though.
Yeah.
We have people call it the show. That's why we do it. So let's look if we agree with his power rankings. He's got Justice League as number 1. I'm 50. So he asked me, by the way, for my power rankings.
In co-ed.
Yeah.
Yep.
He asked me after 9 p.m. And then the next morning I didn't remember because he
Mhm.
asked me after 9 p.m.
Yep.
So I didn't get to give my input. So I do it now. So what are your thoughts on Justice League being the number 1 ranked team?
Maybe 1A. I would maybe want to call it 1A, and I'd say I'd put Easy Fun at 1B. But sure, because it's 1A and the A is greater than B, and if because of the alphabet. Sure, put them at number 1. His reasoning was because of the loaded playmakers and their abilities, and for having the best female in
They
the
do.
division. And I can't argue with that. Like, Sarah Parker is the best female in the division, and happens to be playing the quarterback position.
She's one of the best quarterbacks in FPF, male or female.
Yes.
So
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And then, when you put one of the Pilon, it's Serge Pilon, I believe, playing on the team with Kevin Lubin and Curly McCold and
Curly's been one of the most underappreciated players in FPF for as long as I've known him.
yeah.
He's been a former teammate of mine. I saw him play back in the day with, I believe the team was Takers and A Squad,
Mhm.
or as I used to like to call them, a squad. And just super versatile, great teammate, great dude. Like I'm happy he's getting his due now in co-ed because he's always been worth it.
Yeah,
It's
and
excellent.
if Jasmine Farmers, it looks like she's played 3 games, a couple of games that I saw she wasn't there. But yeah, if she's full time on the team, that's a stacked roster, like from the women to the
And
men.
they won a game recently where Sarah Parker had to take 10 plays off on a controversial
right.
OC.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Lubin was removed from the game for getting 2 OCs, and the game ended with Sarah Parker on defense, and they still won the game. So that's impressive.
Actually, look on D.
She played.
Okay. Okay. Like you.
Yeah,
on
no,
D.
no, well, no, that's not,
Better?
That's not being insulting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
She was fine. It just
Yeah.
obviously it's not her strength. It's not
Yeah.
something she plays often. And I know, like, for myself as quarterback, I also don't like playing defense when I'm quarterback because there's so much to think about all the time that it's just distracting, if anything. You know.
And here's another thing actually that may not often gets overlooked because she's throwing, and she's I believe the only female quarterback throwing in co-ed 1.
Yes.
She gets to throw a smaller ball.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Matthew Peacock and Kevin Lubin, that ball, you're coming down with it like 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Because like whether it's a sideline comeback or a seam from the slot.
I guess, but like I've played with Kevin Lubin before, and I've seen Matthew Peacock play a bunch. Like they're not dropping an F2000 either, right? Like
no. Even more to my point. That I'm just saying that like
because their hands are so good.
Exactly. It's even more likely that though like if it's
like so for example like you know, you throw your hand out for a one-handed catch.
Yes.
And an F2000 maybe bring it in, but
yes.
with a smaller ball, it's easier to palm. That makes sense.
That's
and
what I'm
because of
to.
how tight her spiral is.
Yes.
You couldn't bring that ball in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, let's not react yet to the ranking because it's in concert with the other rankings, right? So like easy fun. We keep talking about how Stephen Harper's has no interceptions, and Alexi made reference to it too. But I'm sure Jeremy White also wants us to notice no interceptions.
He has one now.
Oh.
He at the time he wrote it, he had 0, but he has
Slacker.
one now. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Only talk about Steve now.
Yeah. Well, now Jeremy doesn't even deserve to be the second ranked team. But similar to ECW, 5 receivers with 100 plus yards.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone's a threat. That's the thing Jeremy White has done from his beginnings as quarterback. And we talked a lot a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying like he's elevated by his receivers. And while I think that undersells his talent, he's also not wrong in that they get the most out of him because of his willingness to spread the ball.
Yes.
But does he use his female receivers enough to really be considered a front runner?
Yeah. So not enough. Look, they do have like about 4 or 5 female receivers, and Véronique Baudouin is the exception to that. She has 9 receptions on 12 targets, 155 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But if you combine the rest, you're looking at 4 receptions, 5, 6, plus 4, 13 receptions amongst what was that? What did I rattle off there? 4 or 5 names.
Yeah,
that's
5.
Not enough. Yeah. So. Yeah, he could do
and especially with his ability to buy time.
Yeah.
There's not a reason. There's not a reason to not get them more involved. Because that's gonna hurt, I think, in the playoffs. It makes it too easy to game plan games.
Yeah. Yeah.
That said, look, it's been successful for them in the past, but co-ed 1 is gonna be more challenging for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next team, I think now we can start making it docket because, like, to me, I think Kiss My End Zone's being undersold a little bit. Because
Outlaws.
Kiss My Outlaws, rather. They've played a game less or 2 games less.
Sure.
So it's an incomplete picture. I think Stephen Harper as much as I like Sarah Parker, I think Stephen Harper is the best passer in the division, period, when it comes to play calling, play design, throwing ability, experience, championship pedigree.
Yeah.
It's
hard to argue.
Guys, possibly a top 10 quarterback in FPF.
Oh, we've argued top 5 here.
Yeah. Like, it's around there. Like, he's somewhere between 5 and 12, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not ridiculous for me to make that argument. So, like,
no.
And the fact that, like, we talked about how Justice League are stacked with talent. To me, Kiss My Outlaws actually have the best top-end talent in the division when you consider the fact that, I know there's not a lot of, like, consistency in, like, Louis Bégin and Kevin Donnet not playing full seasons. But, you're a nice option when you also have Isaiah Lard, Joey Notaro, size and speed respectively. And and the female talent also really exceptional. I've always been a huge fan of Abigail Cockerton. She's one of the best snappers I've ever played with. Erica Dubois gets better every time I see her play.
Yeah.
I think to me this is a really good team, but there does seem to be inconsistency with people showing up to games.
Yeah.
Or is it injuries? Like, what's up?
No, even me, I've only subbed for the team, so I'm not.
Okay,
even,
I thought you were on the because you played 3 games. That's why.
Yeah, I know. It's just
yeah.
one was like a sub, and a couple times I was there. And
is Laurie Willette full time?
That one's that strange scenario where Eagle was referring to, where you can only play on one team. So I'm not.
It's not a strange scenario. That's just sports.
I don't know exactly which team she's on, whether she's on Easy Fun or Kiss My Outlaws.
What are we even doing?
I know she's on one team now.
I haven't seen such bad decision making since the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's
like,
not
it doesn't
me.
make sense.
I'm not on this team. I don't. She's on one team. I just don't know which team that is. They've made a clear cut distinction whether she's on Easy Fun or Kiss My Outlaws, but I don't know which one that is.
Thanks for the info.
Yes.
The argument is being made that the defense is not making enough stops for Steve Haraprasad. Because they're scoring minus this past week against Easy Fun.
Without Steve.
Without Steve.
Yeah.
To be fair. But
yeah, not making enough stops to
But
give
to be
Steve
fair, like the teams they've played are also Easy Fun, who score
in
pretty
bunches,
frequently. And what's it called? Like Easy Fun, they played them twice. They played Fit Squad, who they always have close games against anyway. They beat them. They just, that's probably one of their better defensive outings. And then Les Petits Fuck, who are the next team on our list. They're turning the ball over too often. Too many interceptions. 1.5 per game. Sometimes co-ed 1 operates like a Division C or higher, where 1 turnover can mean a difference between a win or loss.
Exactly. So 1.5. You're not setting up your odds in your favor.
Yeah, it's 1 turnover too many. Half a turnover is fine.
Yeah,
but 1 turnover is far too many.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where Alexi had them ranked, and more specifically, like Dom Lefall, I think is a really good quarterback for co-ed because of his ability to run and buy time.
Yep.
And this is a team where we see Alexis Ferrand, for example, getting really involved. Laurien Bonin is an excellent receiver as well. So the entire team is getting involved. That's what we want to see in co-ed for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The next team was Fast Not Furious. Defense conceding too many points. They're asking too much of Weir. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Weir is, playing, I think, his first time in co-ed 1. He may have, I believe he's played in co-ed 2 with Yin and Yang in the past. Look, he's definitely capable of, playing Division C, Division B even, potentially. So I think he's well suited for co-ed 1. But they're asking now to score almost on every single drive by the number of points they are letting up. I think it's somewhere in the averaging of 30 points against. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Alexi's right that they're asking maybe a hair, 1 touchdown too much from Weir on an average game.
Alexi makes the case that Fit Squad should not have moved up to co-ed 1. They no longer have Goulet at quarterback. Instead, they have Seth Galina, who's very good at calling schemes against zone.
Yeah.
But teams know that Seth can struggle against man.
Yeah.
As a lot of us who don't have the strongest arm all struggle with, but the answer to that is have the fastest athletes on the field.
Yeah.
Fit Squad, not really that profile
Speed,
per se. They're really good at route running. They're really good at, finding holes in the zone. It's just that when teams know what Seth Galina likes to run, they run a lot of shadow defense, and that's been difficult for him. So, what's your ranking? Now that we've done the analysis, what's your ranking?
I think he nailed it on the head. I mean, other than like having to put 1 and 2, I would put it 1A, 1B with Justice League, Easy Fun, and maybe even 1C with Kiss My Outlaws. Honestly, I'd
go Kiss My Outlaws a seed higher, Easy Fun a seed lower, just because again. Jeremy White's not getting the ball to his female receivers, and he's thrown that 1 interception. Stephen Harpersad hasn't thrown an interception.
Right, yeah.
And
loses you points.
again, I think the record is what it is because they didn't have Steven
Yeah.
the last game,
Yeah, the 2
and they've
2.
played only 4 games.
Yeah,
It's
the
not
2-2 record. That's not what I'm worried about.
And then, but it does seem to be like a division of 2 sort of tiers, right? Like
Yeah.
you're the top 3 teams, and
Yeah, and yeah.
then LPP again. The turnovers are just a little too much. Fast Not Furious. I'd probably go Fast Not Furious a little bit above LPP just because again of the turnovers, and yeah, I look, Mike Weir's still learning as a quarterback.
Justin.
Oh, sorry, Justin.
Yeah.
Justin Weir.
Justin Lerner. You're tired.
I'm tired, man.
That's why I got you a coffee.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna be wired. I've had 2 during both shows tonight, so. But yeah. So, and I think Fit Squad is. No offense to them, and
No.
and kudos to them for making the jump.
Yeah.
It's courageous.
Yeah.
It's they. I don't want to say they downgraded because Seth Galina is just a different quarterback from
Yes.
Goulet,
Yeah.
but I think Goulet would struggle would succeed more against shadow defenses,
Yeah.
whereas Seth Galina really is his own breaker. He's a smart play caller.
Yeah.
Dude works for Pro Football Focus. He understands the game, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he knows what he's doing. And
He'd
he's been a great coach before.
Fit Squad would be really fun to have them in co-ed too.
They'd be great in coach.
They'd
They'd be amongst the best teams in the
yeah,
division.
exactly. It'd be really fun to have
They're
them
kind
there,
of
so I
in
think-
between, though. They're kind of why
Yeah.
we need to have 3 divisions in co-ed.
Yeah.
We're at that point where there's a
Yeah,
middle
it's
tier
coming.
teams,
Yeah,
right?
in the
Like,
winter especially. Yeah. Sounds about right. So you actually mentioned Lauriane Bonnet and
Yeah.
Alexis Farin. Pease, if you were starting your own co-ed team, what male-female duo are you looking to pick up as 2 wide receivers, so 1 male, 1 female? Would it be Lauriane Bonnet and Alexis Farin? They've combined for 375 yards, 12 touchdowns. Or are you taking from Easy Fun, Véronique Baudouin and JC Fatlan? They've combined for 354 yards, so about 25 yards less,
Can I
but
go-
and 3 TDs less, 9.
Can I go off the board?
Sure.
For my skill set,
Yes.
because you're asking me who I would put on.
Yeah, I am asking you. Yeah.
I won't go with any of the Kiss My Outlaws females because they're former teammates, right? So there's bias.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
as much as I am heavily biased and
Yeah.
always go for people I like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in another direction. There's 2 I think I'm gonna slightly hedge towards Laurence Pombriand.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
she's
just
good.
because she's excellent, first of all.
Yeah.
But also
she's your
her
type of
her
receiver.
her route running
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the way, similarly to why Seth Galina likes to use
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And from Hugo Lippin.
Okay.
Because that speed, he would be the Joey Notaro on my offense
Yeah.
in co-ed, basically.
Yeah.
Just really game-breaking speed, can take a drag, can take a hook, and go upfield. And I like that kind of receiver.
Can take a drag. It
Yeah.
seems- Yeah.
Yes, also that.
Yeah. Funny.
What about you?
No, I'm gonna limit myself to the options there. I like the Véronique Baudouin JC Ferland combination. It's a nice 1-2 punch to have. I can see easily comebacks from Véronique and JC running the corner. I can just specifically see a couple of plays run well between these 2. The
That's
combination of these 2.
I mean, look, there's no bad options.
No, for
All
sure.
3 of the options we went with are great options there. Co-ed 2. So do we agree or disagree with the power rankings?
I agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start
You-
with the breakdown. Kiss My End Zone.
In co-ed 2, the power ranking. Yes, I also agree with
Did
it.
I say
yes.
co-ed 1?
No, I thought you were just recapping co-ed 1 again.
did
I'm
that
like,
already.
I said yes already. I'm like, why are you asking me again?
Because sometimes in the huddle, I'll say in at the back of the end zone, I mean out. And
Okay, yes.
it breaks my whole concept. And then the receiver's like, but you told me.
in.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
not bad. So obviously the injury to Alex Noel kind of changes he's not an easy player to replace from his specific skill set.
Yeah, especially on
Um,
defense. Yeah.
No, for sure. He's also an underrated quarterback for sure,
Yep.
but definitely defensively. I played on a defense with him where I played defense, and he made me look good just by being on his side. Like that's the level of talent we're talking about.
Yeah, he brings up references to the season you threw to him quite often, actually, on
Really?
the sidelines. Yep. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Because we have a similar playbook.
Yes, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can imagine. But yeah, so you've taken over from Alexi Noel.
Yeah.
And
Alexi Noel? Alex.
my guy.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm also playing with
night.
Alex Blay in softball and Alexis Dubois in
Hot Sauce Sports.
Hot Sauce Sports, and I constantly refer to them by
Yeah.
each other's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, you haven't thrown an interception and 70% completion percentage.
Yeah.
Coatou's got a lot of zone.
Yeah.
You're a great quarterback against zone. You're a decisive decision maker. And we talked about a lot of the players before, but Loy Willett, being full time on this team, just full time. We talked about him as well. James Drysdale obviously is good in any division he plays in. And again, you're using Abigail Cockerton the way I did when she was on the team, just consistent chain mover.
So she subbed last game, so she's a sub.
Okay, she played
a
games,
couple
the
games.
2 games I saw you play,
Yes.
she was
Yes,
there,
but 3 TDs this past Monday. Like she got her hat trick of touchdowns. She's a great red zone target and really hard for when they're playing shadow defense. Sure, go ahead, put one of your best women on her. She can box them out, and she knows exactly how to run the routes. Steve and I run some similar patterns for her.
It's the same family tree.
So she knows knows exactly how to run it at the right depth, at the right weight to box out her defender. She's great.
Brianna Keeley, what can you tell me about her?
So I've only played a couple of games with her. She's new to the game, but my God, does she know how to quickly adjust? I asked her to run a comeback. She ran it better than a lot of guys run it. Completely boxed out her girl. I threw it, right to kind of a low ball, but great hands.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a natural athlete. If you want the
and using that body position to go down and get it, it's not intuitive for a lot of receivers.
And there goes your voice.
Once a week I lose my voice.
There it is. So that, and then she's a gifted athlete. So on one play, I sent her on a corner near the red zone or in the end zone, and she kind of tripped on the play. She was still open, so I kind of lobbed it in easy for her, and she made the catch on the ground, like outstretched behind her. Like, I'm like, damn,
she's really good.
That was nice. So so she's a great asset to the team for sure.
3 Hunters.
Yep.
They're the most confusing team in FPF.
Yeah.
Because when their best roster is there, they're the best athletes on the field.
Yeah. They were good, and that was that night that we played them, and you saw half of that game. Yeah, that was a good roster. They were good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Rekka. Nicholas Pierre Massé. By the way, Rekka, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to butcher your last name. Please, if you want, hit me up. Let me know how to pronounce it, and I'll learn it forever.
Same.
But for the meantime, it's just Rekka. There's one Rekka, and
she's a wrecking ball.
Yeah. Oof. But she's excellent. Yeah, making fun of your dad joke.
Did she come in that way, or?
She came in like a
banger of a song, by the way.
Yeah.
There's no way you can hear that song and not like it. You're just wrong.
Yeah.
Opinions can be wrong, and that's one of them. But yeah, like having her and Nicholas Pierre Massé is a lot of speed.
Yeah.
All at once, right?
Yep.
So.
Yep. It's hard to defend against.
And defensively, I was really impressed with what they can do with their size and speed and length and all that. And
I forget who their rusher is. He's not experienced, but man, he's fast. So
Costa.
I think he has 8 sacks on the 9 sacks on the season. I saw that, and I'm like, that makes sense because he's good. He's athletic. Caught him on double huts off guard there, but otherwise,
right?
But otherwise, he's a great rusher. Yeah.
The next team that Alexi went with was Les Princesses.
Yeah.
They've moved Mick to quarterback.
Yeah, Mick Arsenault. Yeah.
I like Mick Arsenault as quarterback a lot. I saw him play last season. And I was like, that's not a Division 6 quarterback, right? So
yeah, he likes to chuck it up a lot though. So once you
that's the learning curve. Like that's just not FPF.
Yes.
The skill set is amazing.
Yeah.
Because he
can overthrow his receivers on a 10 out and on a 10 hook on the sideline.
It's the field because it's the field dimensions of flag. It's a small field.
Yes,
I don't know if he plays outdoor flag or tackle
with Carabin.
Okay.
But receiver.
Okay. Well,
or
either way,
DB.
like he's used to bigger field dimensions.
Yeah.
I'm sure when he just throws the ball around to friends, it's on bigger field as well.
Yeah.
It's also a tackle thing, by the way, too, especially when you're in shadow coverage.
Yes.
I recommend a lot of times when teams play against tackle quarterbacks to sort of play a trail technique
Yeah.
in shadow coverage because they tend to overthrow it because it's a hard throw to make, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're used to the bigger dimensions where they can just lead the receiver and let the receiver go get it. You can't always do that in flag. That said, you can also run from the pocket
Yeah.
because he's an exceptional athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, having Emile Barthélemy on the team.
Well, he was a sub, or maybe
Yeah,
now,
3 games.
or maybe So he played 2 on Monday night. So he played back to back because he was there. So they were
And Emma Barthélemy is on the team as well, so maybe that's the link.
yes. Sorry, so Emile, but they.
But I'm saying Emile and Emma are on the team.
Yes.
So maybe I don't know if he was meant to be on the team or she brought him
right for
to join
a set of games.
Sport, yeah.
So Alexi's worried was that at the time again of writing the article that they were unidimensional with
Melsbach and Barthélemy.
Dimitri
Melsbach,
yeah. So he's a great receiver.
And he played with Arsenal in
Tropic Thunder with Tropic Thunder in
exactly.
Division E. That makes sense. So there's the connection there. So being a lot of deep balls and without having seen Emile Barthélemy, the issue was that they could be unidimensional, one-dimensional, and that defenses could easily just pick that up at one point and shut it down.
And again, not using the female athletes.
Yeah. But Emile, my God, what a night he had on Monday night. He had over 200 yards combined in the 2 games, 8 touchdowns. He now leads, just from those 2 games alone, now leads co-ed 2 with 8 touchdowns on the season, including one against us was a one-handed windmill over a DB that had great coverage, nonsense of a touchdown. It was just something you'd see on You Got Moss by featuring Randy Moss. It was I was on the sideline it was right in front of me behind the end zone, and I'm like, holy crap, that was an amazing touchdown grab. So now they're not unidimensional. Now they have 2 deep threats. But yes, getting the women more involved is going to be key for Mick.
Sneaky Snakes have been getting some of the women more involved in that. We see Alexandra Van den Bosch and Marilou Côté-Noël being heavily involved on the team.
Yeah, they're great.
I've talked about my affinity for Marilou Côté-Noël from the first time she rushed me, and I was like, that's one of the best rushes I've ever faced.
Yeah.
And to see her getting more involved on offense and her and Alexandra and David Gaumont, I think, are a nice trio of receivers.
Yeah.
And a team generally that's spreading the ball around. And David Brisson is doing a good job of that. Turning the ball over a little too much.
Yeah.
But I do like the concept, and I think second half of the season they're gonna run into form.
Definitely.
Gorillas have a quarterback roulette going. Oh, sorry, Blue Wave. Sorry.
Yeah, Blue Wave. Yeah.
Blue Wave.
Average.
I've seen them play twice. I don't know. I don't have a good feel for them. What can you tell me about them?
Yeah, so I actually haven't seen them play either. But what
I
Alexi,
did see them play.
you did?
Yeah, I saw them play twice.
You did.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you said either. You said
I
I haven't
haven't-
seen them play either.
Oh, sorry.
Which implies that I haven't seen
Sorry.
play.
Yes.
After immediately when I said
Yes.
I've
Sorry.
seen
You're
play.
right. Yes. You can now. You're taking your shots where you can with me. That's fair.
I was too nice.
Yeah.
You get a balance.
So Alexi was saying just that they're average, that they don't excel necessarily in any one area. They're good, but not great, and that they're probably one star player away from actually being very, very competitive and being maybe in the top 3 of co-ed 2.
For Blue Wave, Karine Larger, we've talked about her.
Last week.
The skill set's really there.
Yeah.
It's finding it, getting it to work in all cylinders.
Yeah.
I think she has the capacity to be the best quarterback in co-ed 2.
Yep.
No offense.
Yeah.
No
They
offense
should
to
go
22 and touchdowns and 0 interceptions, but
They
she's-
should go with her. They should go with her moving forward because
I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
That appears to be the plan as she's thrown the last couple of games. And she just threw this game. I
no,
thought
just
she-
the one.
Oh,
She's played.
She hasn't played since.
Yes.
They haven't played since.
They haven't played since. Yes.
Since last month in June.
Yeah.
I hate the schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, she was great in that game, and to me, she's got the goods.
Yep.
Does that make me sound like a douche?
No.
All right. She's
No,
got the
we're talking
goods.
football. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorillas. Yeah, Gorillas are next.
Sorry, then there's
2 more.
Gorillas, QBs. There's a 3 different starters. I always say that you need to pick somebody and just give them as many reps as possible
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
not going to help But Gorillas just haven't seen any success really.
Yeah, and they lack, like Alexi wrote, they lack the athleticism. I could kind of pick on a few players on the team on the defensive side, so I'm sure Le Princesse, Sneaky Snakes, Blue Wave are going to be doing much of the same.
Well, I mean, they've had a lot of subs, and a lot of them
Yeah.
are very good.
Yes.
Emily Carrier and Geraldine Gaviria-Bante.
Yeah.
Great subs, but
Yeah.
they've only played a game each.
And then with the 3 different quarterbacks, you're not just getting not enough reps. You're getting reps with different receivers running their routes a little differently at different depths, and that doesn't help.
I like Jeff Brown.
Yeah.
At this
guy.
point in his FPF career, he shouldn't be your leading receiver. He's got 22 catches.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only player with double-digit catches so far through 5 games.
Yeah, it's tough.
He's excellent. He's the top-tier complementary piece, and he's being used. He's being asked to do too much on this team. Finally, iced out, tough quarterback play, throwing 1 interceptions and touchdowns. The bright spot, of course, has been Thomas Curtin with 281 yards and 5 touchdowns. But they've only got a single interception as well on defense.
Yeah,
and nothing's
off of
working
him.
at all for iced out.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like Alexi said, they have the nicest jerseys in co-ed too. If we could see the jerseys, I played against them once. Look, they for as much as they were struggling, they put up 20 points on us. So they do have some offensive flash and ability. They just need to be more consistent on it.
Melissa Haber and Maud Bernier adding to what Thomas Curtin has done. Thomas Curtin, by the way,
Yeah, very good.
25.5 yards per reception.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of that too is just Emmanuel Brule, Jeff Suarez. Neither of them are quarterbacks. They're new to playing the position of FPF. They're just airing the ball out.
Yeah.
Hit us up. Quarterback school. It's
Yeah.
working. Look at Iggy. Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's we'll help you get there. Just let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know. We're super happy to help you guys.
Yeah.
So what did Alexi get wrong?
No, it's. I mean, you can flip Kiss My End Zone in 3 hunas, maybe.
I
But
would move Sneaky Snakes up over
No.
Princess just because of the
the
narrow
overall.
targetry. Like it's too easy to take away what they want to do.
But they played twice, and Princess just won and won 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I
You
just think it's a
think-
bad matchup for
I-
a Sneaky Snake specifically, but I think Sneaky Snakes is a better overall team.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I know what you mean. And you know what? So the first time they played, those 2 teams matched up. They lost by 19. Sneaky Snakes did. On Monday, they lost by 3. Third time would be a playoff matchup.
Win by 6. There you go.
It's
You heard it here first.
yeah.
Also, if Karine Auger is the quarterback for Blue Wave, they're going to bounce up that,
Yes.
that ranking
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm
Very impressed.
That's actually the one thing I'm most looking forward to the rest of the season in co-ed 2.
Eagle, did we take too much time on co-ed?
Yes.
I mean,
Ask
it's
you.
fine.
Thanks for the input. Useless.
You have a clock right
We
there.
have the-
I know, but I'm asking you for your opinion.
It was a little bit long, but I mean, sometimes you go long,
Warranted.
sometimes you go short. It was
Yeah.
fine.
That's true.
Co-ed's not usually one we spend much time on, so I
Well, that's
think
kind of why I wanted to
Yeah.
take a moment. Like you and I both played co-ed.
Yeah.
Mo is still learning the division. He hasn't had a ton of it to score keep either, so he relies on us for that. So
yeah.
with you here, I figured it'd be a good opportunity. Division E. Which QB wide receiver duo are you taking Div E to lead their teams to a deeper playoff run? And the examples we have are Matthew and AJ Zapatelli of Big Fat Bats. This is like a very East End centric question. So it's Matthew and AJ Zapatelli of Big Fat Bats,
Yeah.
or Adam Mantel and Matthew Neese of Minkia FT. I know
Hey.
my people.
It just so happened to be that it's just they're one of the top QB wide receiver duos in Division E. So, look, I would probably in a vacuum, kind of like if I'm starting my franchise or like wanting to go on a deep playoff run, I take just the experience that Matthew and AJ Zapatelli have. They have a few more seasons, about 1 or 2 more than Antel and Nice do from Minky FT /Demons. Both No, and I like the speed of both Matthew and AJ. So their experience, their speed, their explosiveness.
I love having both as receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
My God,
Yeah,
they're so
yeah,
fast.
exactly. Like Adam doesn't run as much, and both are not pocket passer or natural pocket passing quarterbacks. But yeah, give me Matthew and AJ.
Can I throw in a third option here?
Yeah.
Go
Can we throw in Médéric Lauzon and Jared Buck from Praetorian Guard? The lack of interceptions and the equivalent production of Jared Buck is what's interesting to me.
Yeah, so I saw that one too. I've played with Miduk Sub for my team.
Yeah, I remember.
Last season,
I score kept that game.
and I was really impressed by his knowledge of the game.
Yep.
He comes, I believe, from MFL.
Taliban.
If not, no, Taliban. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Taliban's not the same caliber of league as FPF for sure, but
Yeah.
you know what? Division E is a division where you can do well with knowledge.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that with Midrek. So another two guys I would take as receivers, by the way, is Midrek and Chad Buck.
Yeah.
Actually, a receiving squad of the two Zapatellis, Buck and Lozon is a very complete receiving squad.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
All-star team, Division E.
But I love what Lozon's doing at quarterback.
Yeah.
He's more my style of quarterback in that in the way that he reads the field and the
Yep.
way that he throws from the pocket. Better athleticism than he would appear to have when you just see him.
Yeah.
Um,
Candidate number 4, Jason Reyes and
Yeah.
Xavier Bro of
Yeah.
Les Petits Carottes. That's
Yeah.
another one, which
It
is...
solid. Yeah.
Who made this list? Was it Mo?
Me.
No.
But I intentionally left it to 2. Oh yeah, no. There's a lot. There's a lot that you can even take
Yeah,
me and
it's a big division.
Sam Ertz.
Yeah, but you weren't going to post him on
but
that.
Sam
put
Ertz
yourself on
is
that list.
ridiculous. Hand.
You were there for that one.
I was there for a game where he had 2 one-handed monster catches.
He's pretty good.
Adam Antel, though, my
Yeah.
issue with him
Yes.
is there are games where he's excellent,
Yeah.
and there's games where he's just
Average.
average. Not even
Yeah.
bad. Never bad.
No, never
Just
bad.
average.
Yeah.
He seems to me like a guy who's ready to make a step.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's
Yeah.
right on the verge
Yes.
where I think AJ Zapatelli has already crossed that threshold a little bit.
That's the 1 to 2 seasons I'm referring to.
and that's the difference. So of the 2 that you specified,
yeah.
weirdly, and leaving out everyone else in the division,
Mm.
but I think I'd go with the 2 Zapatellis.
Yeah.
A, love the jerseys. B,
Yeah.
love the skill set.
I
Love the
think
way they
of-
play.
And I think of Zeppeles all the time.
That too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That too.
Yeah. Good times here with beer and Zeppele
Yeah.
in the March, the St. Patrick's Day one.
By the way, I have your wooden 6-pack at home.
Oh yeah, I need that back. I
Yeah.
forgot to bring you beers also. Damn it. Because I did look for the 6-pack, which I couldn't find. Because I have like a carry 6-pack.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna
Like-
bring you a couple of beers.
Yes, like
It's a
the
wooden
Gatorade,
case.
like the Gatorade case, the 6,
Yes.
but a wooden one. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a bottle cap opener attached to the side, actually.
Ooh, nice,
Yeah.
nice touch.
Which is useless for the gross bottles. But
Yeah. But to open other beers.
yeah.
It's just generally useful. QB roulette. I'm disappointed. They disobeyed the wheel.
Yeah.
They disobeyed the wheel, and guess what happened?
The QB giveth and the QB taketh away.
The wheel.
The wheel. Yeah, not the QB.
Come on.
The wheel. Come on.
The QB giveth nothing because they disobeyed the wheel.
So yeah, they lost to the. We were just talking about the Praetorian Guard yesterday. However, it was.
No, I'm just
I
making
hear
sure it works.
Yeah. However, it was closer than the score would suggest. It was a 30. Jesus
What is that?
Christ!
They don't hear that. It's fine.
That was brutal.
But we
though.
hear it. It's
yeah,
terrible.
that
yeah, but I
was-
don't care about you.
Thank God that was only my right ear. So the score, the final score was 31-6. But they come up to me, they being Zach and Kenny. They're like, yeah, forget about the offense. It was a 13-6 halftime game, and we picked off Medric twice in the game when he had 0 interceptions going in. So they're like, we actually, were competitive in the first half, but then the game kind of got away from QB roulette. They threw one too many pick sixes.
Zachary Alvarez-Gill is a good rusher for the kind of quarterback Medric Lauzon is.
Yeah.
So rushing his throws, making him throw off platform.
Much taller.
Much taller.
And-
Takes away a lot of the windows.
Yeah.
And Medric Lauzon, while he's similar to like really good pocket quarterbacks in terms of his play calling and the style of play, he's not as quick a reader as he's going to be. He's still
Okay.
developing that skill, so the ball is in his hand a bit too long, and that's
Right.
where Zachary Albert's skill can affect a quarterback.
I think what you're trying to say is if the first read is shot, which QB roulette have the guys with experience on
Yeah.
defense to do that, you're saying he's taking a little too long to come off that first read,
Yeah.
take a look at his second, reset his feet if he has to for his third read. It's that what you is what
Exactly.
you're
He's,
referring to.
not as prepared to go to his second, third, fourth read.
Yeah.
as-
In some
But
ways,
it's also Division E, so it's understandable.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
the part of his game he needs to develop.
Right.
Is that quick release. And that's the way you demoralize Zachary Albert's skills. If the ball's out of your hands in 2 seconds, he gets very frustrated
Yes,
because
yeah.
he feels like he's doing nothing.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
he's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
he's not like a pure speed rusher. He's just a really good positional rusher.
Right. So do you think then, them only being up 13-6 at halftime, did the guard show a chink in their armor? Are they perhaps, you said before, there's no proclaimed or easily claimed false king. Are they maybe the false kings? They're 6-0, but if you look at their schedule, Eagle, they actually haven't faced that much of a tougher competition. Oh, here the slap, the slap on the table here.
False Kings, Praetorian Guard.
I mean, look, they've only
It
played.
doesn't mean, by the way, it doesn't mean that they're not talented because they are.
Yes.
It just means they haven't played a hard schedule.
Right.
The
The only
they
tough.
took a loss to Silfest. They would have taken a loss to Silfest, but Silfest decided to cheat for no reason.
Yeah.
They beat Big Fat Pats, who were the next best competition by a single point.
Yes, exactly.
Les Petits Carottes at the time hadn't yet found their legs.
Yeah.
Win Diesel have been lose Diesel, and Caviar de Rohan have struggled. So has
they're-
QB Roulette.
Yeah.
Vic in a box. They had 2 games against Vic in a box. That's a good challenge.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
So
waiting.
if they go 0-2, we can call it
Yep.
False Kings of the season.
There you go.
You made me so happy tonight.
You're welcome.
I take back all the mean things. I won't even call you Diva QB like Mo wanted me to.
Ooh, a
Because
diva.
how you got mad at your receivers in co-ed.
Oh,
like a
yes.
jerk.
Yes.
Like a jerk.
Yeah.
Um,
He did call me that yesterday. Yeah. So yeah, I know about that.
so, yeah, I'm going to agree with you. False Kings so far.
Yeah.
If they beat
I-
Vic and Box twice, though, it's done.
Yeah. But if they lose,
Even
yeah.
1-1, I think it's done. I think they're a good team. But if
Yeah.
they lose both games, False Kings.
Yeah.
False
Yeah.
Kings, and it doesn't even matter what they do the rest of the
Well, because the rest of the season is Mountain Goats and Sizzle.
yeah,
So it's like,
it should be Sizzle less because there's no Sizzle.
yeah. We got one win.
Which conference do you think is the stronger part of Division E?
Yeah. So it's actually, you look at the division and you quickly think it's Conference B. But then you take a look at Conference A and it's actually harder to tell than what you think. Or you just look at one and you're like, yep, it's Conference A. But then you look at Conference B and you're like, well, wait, Big in a Box has only played 3 games. Magnetos have only played 3 games and both teams are 3-0. It's actually hard to tell. So
there's really good teams in A, but there's also teams that suffer from pretty
bad.
glaring flaws.
Yeah.
I think Silifest, they came into the season. I don't really understand what they want to do because they had to know that Francis Desrochers can't throw in this division
Yeah.
because he's way too good for this division.
Well, then that's why I thought the first 2 or 3 games they had his brother Vincent
Well,
Desrochers,
Maybe,
but they
'cause
might look similar.
there's
to
a
each
rumor
other,
that
that they look similar to each other.
well, they don't look that similar. And what's funny is where they got caught was playing against Praetorian Guard,
Right.
where
Medric Lozon
Medric
has
Lozon's played
with and against.
with and against Francis
Francis.
Desrochers.
Yeah.
And also, like, apparently during the Penetrators game, there was also a complaint made, but
Yes.
it couldn't be verified.
Right.
Now,
Now,
they did beat.
Yes.
They did beat TB Elite, so they're beating teams they should beat.
well, the person that quarterbacked, his name is Dave Kyle, which I believe is Dave Kyle Daou. Dave Daou.
Who's two? Well, no.
Well, no, I checked.
He did actually throw.
He's exactly a 66
yeah.
in a 66 cap division.
Can
so
we put the right
that-
quarterback to be throwing there? Can we stop letting them try
I know,
to cheat?
like why are they're like just I saw it that I'm like, was it the scorekeeper? Was it Joel? I didn't know like that he was already in the
We
system.
can easily find out what they
Dave
submitted.
Daoud, just to let you know, he did submit a rating review request. He was off by, I think, 1 point, and so he
Which
was
is
lowered
fine,
to fifth.
Yeah.
And he also
it
hasn't
was
thrown in a
fine.
little while. So.
Yeah.
Strangler's defense is atrocious.
Porous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even understand why.
I don't.
It's
we haven't played in a while, but
I remember watching film of early James Harden trying to cover the pick and roll, and he would be surprised when somebody would cut behind him to the basket, like, this guy fell from the sky.
yeah.
That's kind of what
Yeah.
the Strangler's defense
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And Pillow Talker's athletic skill is very impressive,
Crazy,
but they don't know what they're doing.
the ball can't get to those receivers.
Yeah. That's okay. They'll learn.
So like, what's the harder path if you had to go to like your road to the final? Is it a harder path to go through Conference A or a harder path to go through Conference B? I think it's Conference B. Yeah,
Conference B, the top end is just tougher.
exactly.
Praetorian Guard. Win Diesel's actually been better than I thought.
Yeah, you
Honestly.
the winning
Well,
record.
they're
Diesel.
about 500,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
but
yeah.
I guess it comes down to when you see a team play, right? Because
Because you were sure they had a losing record.
Yeah, 'cause
didn't you?
also they got a free win
forfeit,
against
a
Le Fes.
Yeah.
I saw them against Praetorian Guard, and I saw them, and I noticed they lost the Vic and Box. I actually wasn't able to see much of that game.
Yeah, but those are two of the better
which
teams
is fine.
in Division E.
But I just, in watching them
Sure,
play, I
sure,
thought they
sure,
were a
sure.
team that were not as successful as they are. So my bad.
Brian, yeah, kind of
Talking too much trash.
I
Against
believe no, but I score kept one of their games, one of their early games. They're green. They're very very new to FPF. Not new to football, but they just need more reps. Just playing a full season.
I mean, one of their wins is a forfeit.
Yeah,
They beat Sizzle by a point.
yeah.
They
That's
destroyed QB Roulette, who were a team who disobeyed the wheel.
So
they
had it
beat a
com-
team
they
who
had
had faith working against
they
them.
had it coming. Yeah.
Yeah, they deserved everything that happened to them.
Yeah.
They deserved every second of it.
Are we checking to see what quarterback they're playing with this week?
We will in a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
in a sec, yeah.
But yeah, I like the strength of Praetorian Guard, big fat bats, Vic in the box.
Yeah.
Even if Win Diesel aren't quite as good as the record indicates, they're still not bad.
It's still a tough first round matchup.
Whereas it's you know what? Mickey FT, they Piscicarat and Penetrators. Now that Piscicarat have found themselves.
Yeah, they're good, man.
And Penetrators are a team I'm surprised didn't move up.
Yeah. That's why I asked the question, man. Conference A is
Well
the top
balanced.
end.
There's
Yeah.
not an answer.
Yeah.
Well balanced.
Yeah. Although Black Label, they have the opposite issue of Pillow Talkers. They
But
have
they're
the,
similar.
They have the quarterback
Yeah.
to throw it, but they don't necessarily have all the best athleticism at the receiver. Although they have a couple guys who are good. But yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to call it.
Yeah, Felix Journeau has been solid.
He's really good.
Yeah.
No, he looks the part.
He looks the part. It's just again, he's getting the ball to receivers who just aren't making plays.
Exactly.
That's tough.
All right, wheeling. Are we wheeling and dealing here?
Wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
It's QB roulette time. Let's see who's starting for QB roulette.
Are
I
we
like that
doing-
they basically created a team that would give us a gimmick so they'd be talked about every week.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
It's like FKU going with the name FKU.
Yes.
You know we have to talk about you.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, here we go, boys.
Let's see who's starting.
First half, second half, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
exactly.
okay,
Yes.
because they
So-
had a guy. Shouldn't
Yes.
we add the new quarterback? Because they added a player to throw like last week, right?
So it's Vic in a box
Kenny Boutellier is throwing.
playing Vic in a box Sunday, July 10th at 6:00, Laval.
And for the second half, we have
So who will compliment Kenny?
Zachary Albers-Gill.
Hopefully he doesn't throw 2 pick sixes again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
rule number 1: follow the wheel.
So there's actually one thing I forgot to mention. Oh no, I didn't get to Divi yet. So we'll do that later. But Zachary Albers-Gill, best smile in FPF.
It's up
there.
there. I
Mount
remem-
Rushmore smiles.
I remember one of the. I think he's updated it since, but one of Alex Laroche's pictures
That's true.
At one point was a great smile. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get into Div A and B.
I mean, this one's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Although the other one was better, but this one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Div A.
Yeah, Dive.
All Stars are back on track with Mary returning, it seems.
Surprise.
Is Jean-Nicolas Brinko the answer at Rusher?
Yeah, it seems so. They're now they've rattled off 2 wins in a row here. 1 point victory over Mocom Problems and a 5-point win over the Apocalypse. Has he gotten a sack? Is he putting the pressure on Division?
I mean, sacks are hard to come by in Div A to begin with.
They are.
It's not an easy measurement for sure.
No. But he definitely has the speed. If ever a quarterback makes a move, he has the speed to get back. If the ball isn't already released, which usually it is. Look, it's better. It's probably their best option at rusher than
They can't go with John at rusher.
No,
it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, absolutely not. And you don't want to take Mike Piassin out of coverage. You're not taking the Pilon brothers out of coverage, although they've only played 1 game each with the Braves.
He weirdly got 2 games played in 1 game against All Stars, where they lost 43-38.
Who's this?
This is Brinko.
Okay.
He's got 2 games played in a single game, so that's
Yes.
lovely. And he played against the Apocalypse where they won. In those 2 games, he's got a sack, but he sacked Jeff Rosenblatt, who went an entire season without getting a sack once.
Right.
He's not an easy quarterback to sack. He's
Yeah.
just a really intelligent
Yeah.
quarterback. We talked about the ability to get rid of the ball quickly. That's what Rosenblatt does
Yeah.
at an elite level. So where do you rank Braves now? Do you think the slide continues, or do you think they've righted the ship and now they're back to being top 3 in the division?
I was even doubting, them being at the bottom. It sounded so weird, them being at the bottom of the division. I was skeptical of it. Like, you kind of expected they would come back, and here they are. They're back at 500. Can't you see them finishing 7-3? No?
No.
Okay. Where's the loss come from? So, as it comes up here. So they have the Apocalypse, KGP, Party Crashers.
KGP or Mocon Problems, or both will be
Really?
losses.
The KGP one, huh?
KGP's getting better.
I know.
every week.
No. Fair enough. But
We'll talk about them in a second.
yeah.
But, they're getting better every week. Mocon Problems, I think at that point, they're going to need it more. So they're going to have to win because based on what Mo says, that's how you win games.
Do you have any wedding updates from Mo? Do we have a
fake wedding?
dish number? Yeah, the fake wedding. It's an entire heist just for this show.
Just to ruin my anniversary.
I'm getting a little hungry, so I'm kind of curious to see if there's like a dinner plate out yet.
No, well, I said I can see at least one lost, either KGP or Mocon Problems.
If I had to pick one, Mocom more problems, because more
But I can see
weddings.
them, like you asked me where the loss can come. I can see them even losing 2.
Nah, just one. But I see. I'm gonna go ahead and say 7-3. They
Right.
they rattle out.
Look, I'd
6
love
in a
for
row.
them to prove me wrong. They proved me wrong when I first saw them play in an overnight tournament and said that's at most a Div 3 team. So I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? Yes, that's.
Yeah, they've ridden the ship.
I think so. It's to a degree. I still think they're not. They're just outside the elite tier, and I think it might be a 2-horse race between Mocon More Problems and, regardless of the outcome of last game, Mocon More Problems and All Stars.
Well, because
Although
the
it's setting
Pilon.
up for another All Stars championship, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They
Because the
just look
Pilon.
the most complete.
Yeah, because what makes the Braves very complete are the Pilon brothers, right? And they've only played 1 game each. There's 4 games remaining, so they got to play
The
either
Pilon
all.
brothers, Julien Payma, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot to
that's
lose.
That's tough loss.
Apocalypse have lost 2. They lost 2 games this week.
Yeah.
But it was by combined 7 points. On the surface, that's impressive. But also, they were 2-score games where Jeff Rosenblatt led a late score to make it look prettier. Is this a good sign that, hey, you know what, they can score
And keep up.
and keep up, or is it sort of like a false flag?
I'm I'm leaning towards the false flag. You're probably better equipped to answer whether Jeff is there yet in the Division A, Division 1 rankings. You know, can he go head-to-head 10 times out of 10 with Kevin Wyeth? Probably not, right? Is he matching up against Dan Lazara, Joe Meyer? Like, he's still a step below, is he not?
Yeah, he started the season throwing 7 interceptions the first 3 games.
Yeah.
And then he played 2 games against All-Stars. He bizarrely plays well against All-Stars and Finest. He threw no interceptions against them. And then 3 interceptions against Braves. It's just, he's so good normally protecting the ball. He's becoming a Division A quarterback.
Yeah.
He's on the verge.
He's on the verge. Yeah.
It's a jump. And kudos to him for taking the jump. I know he wasn't thrilled about it, and he's going to say, well, look how much I'm struggling. But there's been good signs, man.
Yeah.
Like he's built a good squad, I think, that fits his specific skill set. I really like James Tyrell. We talked about last week. I think they're missing one speedster to really complete the offense. But there's great route running. They also only had John Laristis, who's borderline Hall of Famer. Kind of ridiculous. He's not already a Hall of Famer in FBF.
Hot take of the night.
Sorry?
Hot take of the night.
I don't think so. Like, there's not a lot of guys.
No, that he's not.
No, that he's not.
That
yeah.
he's not there.
Like, I think he's got like 200 sacks and 200 touchdowns or something. Like, it's something
that's
stupid.
nasty.
If you do a blind vote, anyone who does a blind vote always selects him,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody who sees the names often doesn't because
Right.
of whatever reason.
Right.
But yeah, I like the team as constituted, but again, I do think they're missing that one piece. And
Is Sanders Armand not the speedster on the team?
I don't think he's there. Also, like, yes and no.
Okay.
Not like, I guess yeah. Just DeVay's got a lot of speed.
Sure. Yeah. So it needs to be a notch above,
Yeah.
like regular speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone's fast in DeVay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Dustin Peerless on the roster not playing a game.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was anticipated or not. But yeah, that would have made a difference.
Would they have 3 wins with Dawson Pierre on the roster, like playing?
You're asking if his wins above replacement is worth a win.
Huh?
Wins above replacement's like a baseball stat.
Oh yeah.
Does nobody know the stat, Eagle? Because Terry didn't know that during Hot Sauce Sports.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really gets that.
Wins above replacement.
So it's a player's value
yeah.
based on the equivalent, based on the average player of that position. So
Right,
Mike
okay.
Trout is worth 9 wins above replacement, which is high for a fielder.
Like he's like better than average.
By that amount. Like
Right.
so if you
It's
replace him-
basically the actual telemetry behind Moneyball,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
It values your position or your player
Right.
essentially given the algorithm
Right,
and
right,
what
right.
you're likely to contribute. And so they allocate their budget to position players based on their contribution.
Right.
Get it.
Right. Yeah.
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
maybe if he's there for one of these last 2 games against Braves and and Braves and All Stars, maybe they can sneak a win because like
Yeah.
so I know again the games weren't as close as they
Right.
seemed, but maybe they are
during
as
the
close as
game. Yeah.
they seem. Maybe instead of a meaningless drive to pad stats, Rosenblatt's driving the field for a win.
Right. Exactly.
So and that
Yeah.
changes the complexion of the game for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's
so,
how I see it.
So yes. So
Because
there was-
defensively it would help a lot.
yeah. So there was another picture I think that you wanted.
Yeah, so
bring
I
up.
wanted to ask a very serious question. Dan Lazara's profile pic. Do you think it's ridiculous or patently absurd?
So I don't think he has a patent on his picture. So
Should he?
yes.
Eagle, bring up the picture.
Of Dan Lazara.
Yeah, his
Yes.
profile pic on the FPF site.
This one.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's no patent.
the combination of the background, the eye black for flag football, all of it is excellent in the worst ways.
So I'll have to go ridiculous.
I'm going patently absurd because if there's not a patent, there needs to be.
So it's just absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I give Dan a lot of praise because his season's been ridiculous. He's
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
best in FPF.
He's crazy.
So I'm going to take my shot at him when I can. Got you tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. As for his play, it's been awesome. But they had a tie against KGP.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Maybe you're onto something with KGP. I mean,
It's just that we keep underselling them.
always.
And all they do is win championships.
It's just I guess just one more time.
It doesn't even make sense at this point. Like, I've watched them play too. Like, they look good. They look good. I was there for the game against Party Crashers, which they lost, but they went toe to toe. They got smacked last time they played More Problems, and then they come back and they tie it this time around. You know what I mean?
So it had it because offensively it looks okay, but it doesn't look like they were lighting. I mean, 28-28 is low for both teams, right? So they were but no one threw a pick. So they're just stopping them on fourth down with good defense and batting down balls. I mean, there was only 4 passes batted down throughout the entire game, and
but also you can force missed throws, like
sure,
you know,
based off
guys like
positioning.
Dan Lazaro, like Dan won't throw a lot of picks. What he'll do is place the ball where only his receiver can get it, and
sometimes that's out of reach.
It's out of reach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's a lot of man defense being played in Div 8. That said, KGP does mix up a lot because of their personnel. But it's not like when you look at man or shadow defense, like we like to call it, it's how that's implemented. Do you call switches? Do you cut underneath? Do you go over top? Do you stick with your man? And so, like, that's a learning process for a team like KGP is how do you implement man defense in a way that you can trick the opposing quarterback? Because it takes trickery to get someone like Downs to turn the ball over, even if it is on downs.
So if you bring up the roster there, Eagle, you notice that both teams actually had. The game roster.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't specify. So if you bring up the game roster, you'll actually see that both teams had a Division E, Division D player playing. Agostino Giancovo. I forget the team name. It was the thing with the boats and the Italian ship or whatever it was at the time.
Diversity, as it was called.
Yes, and
means
Kyle,
old ship.
And Kyle Oberfeld on KGP side. I'm surprised.
Kyle Oberfeld's in that family of teams, though.
Yeah,
he plays on KGP Rive.
but Division A.
Yeah,
Division A. Like I'm not playing Division A anytime soon. Like. And I'm not saying I'm necessarily better than these players, but like that's another level to play at. So I'm surprised they didn't get picked on during this game.
I don't know like how they lined up. I know Kyle Oberfeld's rushed in the past, but I mean Julien PM I imagine was rushing.
Right.
So Kyle Oberfeld was on defense. He's a really good athlete though. So
Orsa.
Yes,
Orsa.
Yeah.
And they were like making T-shirts.
It's not a boat. It's a bear.
You mentioned boats back when I was
Probably.
listening to
know
calling
what
it.
I'm
It's
saying.
an Italian ship or something.
A ship full of bears.
Orsa.
It's a cruise ship for bears.
Okay.
My favorite kind of cruise ship. Yeah, it's honestly Phil Cutler continues to impress me.
Yeah.
And this is a really good team build for him. The ways that they were moving the ball too were like more problems. You know, Dan Lazara, the thing he does best is continuously move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
As he knows exactly when to take his chances. He knows exactly when to check it down. He's not afraid of checking it down. When he goes into hero mode is when he tends to get into problems. It doesn't seem like he did that.
Right.
It's surprising that he completed 26 passes and only 4 of them went for touchdowns. That shows really good discipline on side of KGB.
Yeah.
That's the only way I think you can explain that away.
Yeah. And like when he's checking it down to Ben McMahon, so you know there's yards after the catch there too.
I was sitting with AJ watching a drive, and it wasn't even like a smash out. It was just a one-step quick out to Ben McMahon where Lazara caught the ball, threw it ahead to the cone, and Ben just ran under it and caught it.
Yeah.
And what AJ told me was like he does that once a game. Like it's just not coverable.
Yeah,
it's not coverable.
Yeah.
Like unless you know it's coming and you shoot the gap, but then Dan will throw it and he'll go over top. It's such a weapon for this offense to have Ben McMahon.
Yeah, I love the
whether it's
addition.
deep passes or just underneath stuff.
Yeah.
It's so impactful at his rating.
Yeah, it opens. Yeah, exactly. For the rating is a great point. It's just. It's a touchdown. Like it's either going to him or it's going over the top, like just beating a zone. Like if they're playing Lane's defense in the red zone. Yeah.
I got a message from Matt Lepage.
Okay.
He said that we're talking about Matty Awesome and we're completely FOS.
So, if you don't know that player's name, like I didn't, and you're listening to us on a podcast, thanks for listening. Matty Awesome sounds like he's
Great
awesome.
name.
Yeah, he's like Matty Ice, like he's Matty Awesome.
Or, Matty Ice, the football player, or Matty Awesome, the stripper. Either way, great names.
Yeah.
Great names.
Continue.
Have we underreported BYOB's success and how good they are on defense? Because offensively, they've been fine. They have yet to really, I think, click on a way that I'd like to see from a team led by Matt Rene, who's one of my favorite passers in the division.
Yeah.
Matty Awesome has been recruited to play defense on this team. So that's why it kind of drew the ire of Matt Lepage, who's not only a patron of Calling the Audible, but a very good player in his own right. And he was saying that having like him and Seb Simon has really been what's taken BYOB to the next level this season. They've only lost 2 games. They won their doubleheader on June 30th when they beat Touch It Catch It and pretty convincingly, and Brand New pretty convincingly as well.
Yeah. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, beating teams like Mangoose, Thor's Hammer. Oh no, sorry, the Thor's Hammer was the loss. Touch It Catch It twice in that span. We probably are not talking about them enough. They're currently sitting in the number 2 seed. I was just
The next 2 games are going to be the challenge games, I guess we can call it that.
Well, Junkyard Dogs have been
1
up
and
and down, but definitely B-Raves. And actually, even Ready Crime Family is getting better. We'll talk about them in a second for sure. But, it's not an easy end of the schedule, but this is where they're going to have to sharpen their offense. I talked to Matt Lepage. I said, this is the time of this year where you guys need to find that chemistry. If a receiver's not fitting in, find a way to work him in.
Yeah.
Call the plays that haven't worked that you need to work in the postseason. They're pretty much locked in for a playoff spot. Especially next game, Junkyard Dogs, I think they can get by before playing B-Raves. You want to be sharp for B-Raves.
Yeah, definitely. And I didn't realize that they have Ariel Librati and the Vincent Benjamins of the world.
Those only playing 3 games out of 7 so far.
Yeah, so far. So maybe, so maybe just subbing or maybe missing the double headers. It could have been that. So remember, you can email the league and ask for them to get one of those 2 games played if it's missing a double header in the same day. Is it the same day or the same week, Eagle?
Yeah, I believe.
Did we stipulate that? What if you have a Monday and a Thursday game?
Same week?
Same week, exactly. But are we giving the game played for the same week, or it's really the same day, like Monday at 8 o'clock and Monday at 10
I believe it's the same week because of the fact that normally you don't have 2 games in a week.
Right, and you could be off on vacation for the week.
Exactly.
Sure. So those are...
I think the combination is if you have 2 games in the same week, or if you have I think it's like a Thursday, Sunday type of arrangement, I think it also works. Like if you have like the close games or something like that.
Right. So look, if they are, we always bring up on, or you do actually, Pease, that bringing guys in Division A and B, that you're not cheating the cap, but you're their cap. Well, what's the right word for that?
Exploit.
They're exploiting the cap in like with how low they are relative to their skill set.
It feels like this is the first season where we've seen it on a large scale.
Yes.
I can't believe it took this long.
Yeah.
I'm sure now that we can play 4 teams, it helps.
Right.
But guys, don't assume that someone can't play high division just because they haven't. There's talent across the league. We see, CJEP and university players playing as low as Div E, Div 6. Go out, find players.
Yeah.
Stop complaining about caps. Go out and find players. There's a ton of talent. And Ariel Librati and Vincent Benjamin are 2 great examples of guys who can play in a higher division. And they're doing it.
And I think, we talked about him a bit on the show already, but James Drysdale's come up through vultures. Like Alexi and I are talking, he's not going to be able to play soon in Division E and D. He's going to single-handedly bust the gap. Like, this guy's I think like an 87, 88 rated offensive player. Like, he's with that catch he made, that was ridiculous. Like, this guy's going to be one of the higher, like, easily he's going to quickly become an 80 rated player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can play in Division in a couple years. I think he's going to be playing Division A.
But like, he's not more talented than he was.
Right.
He's always been this talented.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's just taken a while for. I've said for years I've been trying to recruit him, but
Yeah.
you're playing the same division as Vultures,
Exactly.
so it's been impossible. But like, you know, Will Power just won division receiver of the year in Division 2.
Yeah.
And this was a guy who was considered to be he's a low division receiver, receiver.
Yeah.
He just won receiver of the year.
Yeah.
Division 2.
That was cool. That was
Yeah.
cool to see. But
And-
yes, so
And that's proof. Like, he's not better than he was. He's the same person he's always been.
Yeah.
That's the thing I used to make fun of Mo about. I was like, well, but you know, he's not there yet. Why not?
Yeah.
Wait, he's only not there yet because he's not playing there yet.
Yep.
You know, like.
So overall, just to wrap up BYOB, yeah, I think we have not been talking about them enough. They've played more games than anyone, but they've scored the most points, so 220 or so. Two receivers with over almost 300 yards. And what I was mentioning before with Ariel and Vincent Benjamin, if they do reach the 5-game plateau for playoffs, those are great lower-ended rated players to bring on the team.
For sure. A team that has difficulty integrating lower division talent, it seems. Brand new head Vince Nardone throw in the absence of Robbie Robinson. Their attempted solution was to bring Voltron in to play quarterback.
I don't know who Voltron is.
I was going to say, it was like a predecessor of Power Rangers, and they were like vehicles that would assemble to make a large robot from the 80s.
Yeah, that sounds like Power Rangers to me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's what Power Rangers is based on,
Right,
essentially.
okay.
So Vince Nardone has struggled throwing in Division C before. This is up a division. They're better served, I think, having him as a receiver, given that he just hasn't committed to playing the position long term. It seems as though they're only comfortable getting players from higher divisions. There's so many Division C quarterbacks that could help them this week. Chris Rive could have helped them.
Yeah.
You know, we went through a list of Division C quarterbacks. Why not take a chance on a lower division quarterback? Have your full complement not full complement because they're missing a few players, but have most of your receivers.
Like Sean McGrath.
Sean McGrath is
great.
another example.
Yeah.
I guess Ben McMahon's not playing Div B. He's playing Div A.
Yeah. No, he with Thor's Hammer? Yeah, I think he's with Thor's Hammer with Jeff Rosenblatt.
Felix Goulet.
Yeah.
Chris Rive. Ben McMahon if he's eligible. Sean McGrath. All guys that could have done it. Corey Wowaski has thrown Division 3 before.
Yeah.
That's about the equivalent of Division B.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if they asked, but it seems like the top sauce or whatever version of this team is, whenever they're missing guys, they seem hesitant to get guys from a lower division. And I think that hurts them because we're seeing other teams doing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing it be successful.
Yeah.
Because the ratings mean nothing. They're not that they mean nothing per se, but they don't account for everything.
So you're saying the FPF algorithm and the entire
It's a house of cards. It's a house of cards.
It's crumbling. It doesn't mean anything.
What I mean by that is simply that
Yes, I know what you mean.
it doesn't account for
This
what we're talking about, where lower division talent can be as good as higher division talent who are just not as experienced, who don't have, or even as experienced but just haven't played higher divisions.
Right, and then give them these athletes as receivers and watch them be real good.
Yeah.
Like, give Sean McGrath this set of receiver set, and he's going to put up good
And
numbers.
look, he might struggle, but so did Vince Nardone. So what are
Yeah.
you losing?
Yeah.
You're losing the opportunity to see somebody who might be able to help you in the future.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
You know?
it's the equivalent of like literally pulling from like the NCAA into the NFL, right? Without the draft. It's just, okay, who's the best player available that fits our system? Go get them. That doesn't mean they're not going to be as good as the best player in the NFL. They might be the worst player, but it's the gamble you're willing to take based on their previous success, right?
Like, look at Joe Burrow. I mean, he's older, but in the first season killed it, and the second season
Another guy you
Super
talk
Bowl.
about Fridge, you know.
Yeah.
Also,
He
playing
threw.
receiver for 2 inches, gang.
He threw for 2 inches, gang.
Okay.
One game, he must have subbed.
Must have said,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, like he's the black label quarterback in Division
Oh, no,
E.
he's sorry, my mistake. He is passing for 2 inches, gang. He just
No.
wasn't there the game
He-
I saw.
He threw one game. It's Sam
it's
Granger.
He's a weekly leader. Yes, my mistake.
Yes, it was a weekly leader. Yes, and he put up like 260 yards.
230, yeah.
Yeah, 230. Like, and he's the Division E quarterback for Black Label. Like, when I said this guy like looks the part, I'm like, yeah, he could have been another option for
Again, I'm
Brandon.
not sure if eligible. No, he's not, because he's playing for Mongoose. Is Jeremy White would have been a good option too.
But he only just subbed Jeremy
so if
White.
you get a
did.
release,
Exactly.
you know.
Oh, actually, Eagle, I was going to ask about releases real quick here. We're winding down the show, but releases normally happen. You can no longer be released from a team after like week 7.
After week 7, exactly.
But is that week 7?
What's week 7?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Week 7 is still week 7. Now,
7.
whether you
So
play
there you
10
go.
games or not, it's very tricky, obviously.
So in your last game, you can get a drop because you might be playing your last game in week.
yeah,
6.
if your team's not playoff eligible because you finish your season early and then you just say, screw it, release me.
Such a
I
mess.
mean,
Uh-oh.
Things we didn't think about.
oh no, we thought about them. We just,
Some of us thought about them.
yep.
Yeah, you did.
Moretti crime family. They were up. Okay, first of all, someone needs to be fired from stats keeping, because
What happened?
only Joey Taylor threw.
Okay.
3 quarterbacks threw according to the stats.
Wait, how do you know Joey Taylor? Oh, from the play-by-play?
Well,
No,
from
because
talking to
they've been
Joey
reported.
Taylor,
Oh, from okay, yes,
he has no incentive to lie to me.
right.
Considering that the interceptions weren't credited to him, he Joel Malkin apparently throws interceptions. Joel Malkin didn't throw. Neither did Justin Lerner.
Okay.
Joey Taylor threw all the passes in this game.
Here's maybe why. Did maybe they throw? Do they run double quarterback options on extra points, extra
Maybe.
point 1 or 2, and maybe that got switched?
But it's the
Lerner-
second time
I
this
know.
happens
Yes,
on this
I'm-
field with this team.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Come
that,
on,
that-
bro.
Yeah. So it's happened to me, and I catch it because I'm like, oh crap! I've been giving the last 6 passes to this quarterback, so you can go back and change it to the right quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes, but I've done it too, because I've changed it because
But
The-
you've changed it back.
but I changed it back. Yes.
So
Yes.
they were up on B-Raves.
I see that.
They were up.
Damn.
But let me give the context. Sorry, I'm just bringing up the message exchange I had with Joey. He says we beat them for 50 minutes. In the last 5 minutes, they were up 10.
They were up 10 with 5 minutes left. The
And he
two-possession
threw
game.
Back-to-back picks.
Oh crap! Shit. Bleep.
So in 2 throws, this game was over.
That's
And they could have
That's-
been the upset of
yeah.
B-Raves and handed them their first loss. Instead, B-Raves keep it rolling. Moretti crime family still struggling, but honestly, man, they're getting better.
Yeah.
Joey Taylor's finding
I
his
told
footing.
you.
It's been a while since he's thrown at this level. As much as the team is built to his strengths, it's not all guys who've played with him before, like Joel Malkin, like Rocco Cristiano, and Justin Lerner. But now they're learning the system, finding their places, and I gotta say, Moretti crime family might be a team to look out for in playoffs.
I've thought that since I saw them at Stade de Montréal in like week 2.
There's something about how they all fit, right? With Joey, right? Like all the pieces do fit.
So the thing you didn't
Again,
didn't agree
you
with.
misquoted me. I said there's a lot of players who haven't played with him, and it takes a second to learn the spacing
Fair.
in Joey's system.
But they're the exact players I
Yeah.
would want
Oh yeah,
on, like they're that rangy, Justin Lerner, Gab Wiseman, Rocco Cristiano. They're just those.
Tailor-made.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I didn't
Wow.
mean that. I didn't mean that.
Wow.
That's okay. You can move.
That was amazing. No, that was so
You can
good.
move.
Um,
Terrible dad joke.
yeah, they're really well built for the Joey Taylor offense. Zach Swern, another one, and he's played with them in the past. Yeah, that's a dangerous team. Like one that was up 10 with five minutes remaining on B Raves. Watch out for this team.
Agreed. Eagle, what time is it?
It is time for. Oh, you're not doing the last segment on this one for Div B? Because you had one more left.
Cut it.
No, we.
All right, cool. Games
Watch the
of
script,
the week.
Don't screw up like me.
I mean, what's there to screw up?
Oh.
Audio.
No, not just the audio.
Oh, that was
Do
true.
you remember that? That was bad last
What
week.
did you do?
I was getting
No,
all
it's
confused.
huge.
I was getting all confused with the Thursday games.
But it's not that hard. It's really not that
I
hard.
was trying to play the music and
And
I don't
get
do
audio.
it. I don't do it often.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
fine.
I had
It's
these
fine.
guys slamming the laptops down. They're like, "I'm done." Got
It's
me.
a long show. We get tired.
Got me flustered.
It's in there. I didn't play it.
Ah,
He's flustered.
there you go.
Let's go in the same order we did it before. Div C,
Weird.
Blitzed Buds, and Air Force One.
BB.
Air Force One. Is
All
there no
right.
music?
Yeah, you don't hear
Oh,
it?
no.
Vultures, Tough Lungs.
Vultures.
Vultures.
And one step closer, Beer Belly Brigade.
Beer.
That finishes our week 5 games. And we go week 6, Beer Belly Brigade Top Season.
Oh, that's good. Top season.
Top season.
Les Montagnards, one step closer.
Montagnard's
Montagnard.
gotta win that.
Yeah, they need the
They
win.
need it more.
They need the win. They'll get the win.
2 Inches Gang, Easy W.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is an easy W.
Yes, it is.
And Beer Belly Brigade, Ravens.
Ravens.
My God, Beer Belly has like 4 games in like 10 days.
I know the
Ravens.
Yeah.
Vultures, Hot Sauce Sports.
Can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Vultures by 50.
All right.
Then Hot Sauce Sports, Easy W.
Can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Easy W.
You're a coward.
Blitz Buds, Tough Lungs.
Buds.
Yeah, Blitz Butts.
And Los Penetradores versus the Stoics.
Stokes.
Let's go women's division. Strangers, Villa.
Strangers.
Yeah, Strangers.
And Red Nation, Les Ptimiet.
I'll go LPM.
I'll go Red Nation.
All right. Then we're going to go. This is Division D, I think. Yes. Fourth and Schlong, replacements.
Give me Schlong.
Oh, give me Schlong all day long.
La Cité Jeton, Big Dracos.
Cite.
CT.
Team Timbo, Mad Dogs.
Mad Dogs.
Yeah, I'll go with the Mad Dog defense.
V-Town, replacements.
V-Town.
V-Town.
Trap Stars, Mighty Six.
Trap Stars.
Yeah, it's a trap game for Mighty Six. Give me Trap Stars.
Peerless, Scared, Scarred, Wide Open Bar.
Peerless.
Eel couldn't read it properly, so wait open bar.
Centaur, Ghost.
Santa.
Yeah, Santa.
Glory Boys, Blue Dreamers.
Glory Boys.
Glory Boys.
Bandits, Kiss My Vulture.
Can't pick it.
KMV by 50?
No.
KMV by 50.
Lockdown, Save the Turftles.
I'm not picking Lockdown for us this season. Save the turf.
Save the turf though.
Did they destroy you last time?
No.
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 Mighty Six, Dirty Dogs.
Dirty Dogs.
Dirty Dogs.
Killer Rays, Undertakers.
Ooh.
Killer Rays.
Rays.
Bandits, Glory Boys.
Glory Boys.
Bandits.
Wide Open Bar, Ghosts.
Wob.
Wob.
Late, Centaur.
Santa.
Santa.
Trap Stars, Peerless, Scarred.
Trap Stars.
Peerless Guard.
Prime Time, Lockdown.
Prime time. You just had to stop at prime time. No one's picking Lockdown.
Oh, yeah, Prime Time. Yeah.
Fourth and Schlong, Team Timbo.
Ooh.
Schlong.
I'll go Schlong again.
Dirty Dogs, V-Town.
Dirty Dogs.
Dirty Dogs, yeah.
Big Dracos, Selwyn, Old Boys.
Huh. I'll go Big Dracos.
Selwyn.
All right, we're going Co-Ed 1. Justice League, Fast Not Furious.
Justice
Worst movie
League.
ever, but Justice League, yeah.
Justice League.
Fit Squad, Kiss My Outlaws.
Kiss My Outlaws.
KMO.
Easy Fun, Les Petits Fuck.
Easy fun.
Easy fun.
And Fit Squad, Justice League.
Justice League.
Yeah, Justice League.
Go at 2, Gorillas, Sneaky Snakes.
Sneaky Snakes.
Sneaky Snakes.
Les Princesses, Iced Out.
Princess.
LP.
3 Hunas, Blue Wave.
Blue Wave.
3 Hunas.
Blue Wave with a new quarterback.
Ooh.
OJ, baby.
Nice.
Let's do it.
Gorillas, 3 Hunas.
300s.
Yeah, 3 Hunas.
Iced Out, Les Princesses.
LP.
LP.
And Kiss My End Zone, Blue Wave.
Can't pick it.
Kiss Man's by 50?
No.
Kiss Man's by 50.
Okay.
I'm doing it just because you refuse to say it.
Yes.
Division E, The Penetrators, Vic in a Box.
Vic in the box.
That's good. I'll go Penetrators.
Good game, though.
Penetrators.
Cavalier du Rohan, Scranton Stranglers.
Can't pick it.
So Scranton Stranglers by 50?
No.
Scranton Stranglers by 50.
There you go.
Magnetos, Sous les Fesses.
I thought, originally I thought Magnetos was your team.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you did. I'll go Magnetos.
So the Fest are going to try and cheat, so Magnetos.
Big Fat Bats, Les Petits Carottes.
It's past 9 p.m., so big fat bats.
That's a good game, but I'll go LPC.
TB Elite, The Pillow Talkers.
That one's hard to pick.
Yeah.
I'll go Pillow Talkers. Yeah.
QB Roulette, Vic in a Box.
Wow. This is where they make a decision for their season. I think they're going to deny the wheel once again,
Yeah.
and they're going to get
Therefore,
smacked
a
for it.
loss.
Vic in a box
Vic in a
by
box.
56,000. Because only for the reason
The
of
wheel.
denying
The wheel.
the wheel.
All right. Les Petits Carottes, TB Elite.
LPC.
LPC.
By 50.
Pillow Talkers, Scranton Stranglers.
Can't pick it.
So Scranton Stranglers by 50?
No.
That's my pick.
Brewers, Black Label.
Black Label.
Black Label.
Sizzle, Sous les Fesses.
Sur les fesses.
Chili Fest. But they can try and cheat,
Cheaters.
though. So they'll lose by 4.
Scranton Stranglers, Magnetos.
Can't pick it.
What are you going to do?
Not.
You're going to win by 50.
Okay. Okay.
Minka FT, Les Petits Carottes.
Good matchup here.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But I'll
Petit
go
Carotte.
Petit Carotte.
Magnetos, Big Fat Bats.
Big fat bats.
It's a 1-point win for Magnetos.
It's after
Big
9.
fat-
I got to pick it.
Big Fat Bats, Win Diesel.
This game happened at 7 p.m., so windy.
That's no. I'll go Big Fat Bats.
The Penetrators, Minka FT.
Another good game. I'll go Penetrators.
Funny compliments of names.
I'll go Penetrators.
Eagle knows what I mean.
Yes.
Penetrators.
Sizzle, Cavalier du Rohan.
I'll go Cavalier.
I guess Cavalier in a game I wouldn't watch if you could.
All right.
If I score kept it, I have to do it with my eyes closed.
Division
Like,
A,
we'll watch it for
Braves, The Apocalypse.
Braves.
Braves.
All Stars, Mo Cons, Mo Problems.
Go All Stars. Yeah.
So hard picking against All-Stars this
Yeah.
season, man. All-Stars.
KGP, Party Crashers.
KGP.
Yeah.
And then another Mo Con, Mo Problems, All Stars game.
Let's mix it up. MKMP.
I'll go All Stars again.
Woo! Clean sweep.
All right. And then Division B, Junkyard Dogs, BYOB.
BYOB.
Yeah. BYOB.
Touch It, Catch It, brand new.
Brand new.
I'll go brand new.
Mangoose, Silent Ticklers.
Ticklers.
Tickle me so.
Mangoes gets their first win, though.
Junkyard Dogs, brand new.
Go. Well, I'll go
Dogs.
Junkyard Dogs on that one.
Yeah.
Silent Ticklers, Thor's Hammer.
Hammer.
Yeah. Thor's.
And BYOB, B-Raves.
That's the upset. BYOB.
Yeah. BYOB. I like that one. Yeah.
And that's it, boys.
There we go.
We got through the whole show. We had audio
With
the entire
sound,
time. That
yeah.
was wonderful.
Thank you.
I
That
feel
way-
like I should have screwed with like Iggy's voice and like only put him in like the left ear or the right ear or like up and
But
down
that,
his
that
audio.
was happening.
that was happening anyway.
No, like actually on the mix and everything.
Oh, nice.
Like I can only send you into one ear right now. Iggy, say something.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's annoying. But that's pretty much what I was listening. Yeah, that's very fucking annoying.
Well, at this point, I don't hear you because it's my left ear.
Yeah. So is that why you put these out here for me to like? Am I a joke?
No, Terry was juggling during Hostile Sports.
Oh.
Or attempting to.
Okay.
Man, our audience must really not like this. Then again, it's probably better than the last week.
It
so.
is. It is. Iggy, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, it was fun. MoCon, fake wedding. Hope you had fun.
Yeah, Mo, thanks for
No
ruining
updates, by the way,
my
from his
anniversary.
Instagram, so I have no idea. what
Told
he's
you
been
it's
up to.
fake ass shit.
Yeah.
Eagle,
Basically,
thanks
we get the
for-
opening course and nothing more. That's weak, Mo. That's weak.
Eagle, thanks for your production. Everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me be myself, but also Magic Words, please.
I don't do that.
From all of us here at the Weekly Extra Point Live,
Fake ass wedding.